We are here now to talk about Hitman 2. Next after that is going to be Captain Spirit, then SoulCalibur VI, then more games, but I thought I'd give you just a little bit of a rundown.
The awesome adventures of Captain Spirit.
Awesome adventures of Captain Spirit. Hitman 2, I got to capture footage. So you're going to see me...
This is you playing?
Yeah, this is me playing.
Oh, no, I'm way more invested.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is good, dude.
You'll get to see it go down. And the beauty is, you know, when I play, I go for the silent assassin, the RP. I don't really want to kill any civilians.
But you still want to take their costumes.
I get my hands dirty.
You're still going to knock some people out, choke them out.
So I got to play Hitman 2 hands-on. I got to do half of the Miami level. I say half because...
it's the race one. Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was this one.
Yeah.
The Premium Rush map.
Yeah. Premium Rush, dude. Premium Rush. Great reference. I say half because there's 2 targets, and the demo ended after 1 of the targets. And just from like this 15-minute demo, it is everything I want in a sequel to Hitman.
Doesn't that just feel good?
It just feels...
To the Hitman reboot.
Yeah, to the Hitman reboot. The soft reboot.
It feels more like that. It feels like expanding upon those ideas.
Exactly.
Okay.
I had the privilege, the honor of being able to talk to the director of the game, who's been working on the franchise since like Silent Assassin. So I was just getting all crazy with him, talking about, you know, the origins and the sniper briefcase. And I said, you know what, like when you go to bed at night, what do you think of? Like, what do you... that came out wrong.
No,
when you go to bed, like, what do you think? Like, what do you want from this sequel? And he's just like, we just want more freedom, more detail, like feeling like a Hitman. And that is exactly what you get in Hitman 2. Because even the Hitman reboot, which is phenomenal, by the way, don't skip it. Even in the Hitman reboot, as open as it is, it's still, you know, if you take yourself away from it and you replay the missions, you can kind of see the opportunities, right? There's a bunch of opportunities and things kind of fold in on each other, but just after playing this one mission that you're about to see, it is staggeringly complex. There are so many avenues for 47 to take. There are so many routes to go. There are so many options, and that is what it's about. It's about immersing yourself in this environment, settling in. You'll see me just like stop a bunch. I just stop moving
and just soak it up.
To look around.
Think, yeah.
How much of a preamble is there, dude? I feel like I've been watching cutscenes for the last 3 minutes.
I know, it's a lot of setup. It was a long...
Skip ahead a little.
But that's the kind of game this is.
Okay.
That's the kind of game. This is a game that you settle into. It's not just running and gunning, you know, and which is great because Absolution is kind of a sore spot on the franchise. For me personally, I'm speaking for myself here. Absolution tried to give people both avenues. They said, you know, you can assassinate, but you can also shoot your way through missions.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and that's kind of taking away the essence of who 47 is and what he represents, and that's getting in and out. Minimal damage, minimal casualties, you know, just the target.
A professional.
Yes. The target is dead and he's already gone. So here I am.
Here we go, dude.
Look at that. Yeah, the barcode gives me chills every time. This is me getting that G4 style pan right there.
I respect it, Hubert.
G4 pan. Yeah, that's good
capture.
Bloodworth almost choked on his food.
That's good capture.
He gets the reference.
You guys see that on the video, yeah.
Are you playing on PC, Hubert?
It was PC. Yes, PC with an Xbox controller, and so I have to eliminate the target. Again, this is a long
You have 2
demo.
targets. So it looks like a married couple, or are they brother and sister?
It was like a father-daughter.
Oh,
Father-daughter. Yeah, there's a very long.
So you're taking out daddy or the daughter?
The daughter.
Oh,
the fiber wire, baby.
Oh yeah. You'll see it.
Oh heck yeah.
So and you can skip ahead a bit because you know I'm like figuring out the controls. I hadn't played Hitman 2016 in a while. Yeah, pause. Oh, go back.
Bathroom.
Yeah. I immediately went in the
This
bathroom.
guy, dude, you sicko. Anytime you see a bathroom, you
Kyle,
get
Look at that, yeah, because you see the bathroom sign,
Yeah.
and he was like, I know where to go.
Kyle,
He's the arrow.
for you,
Yeah.
I was like, gotta go in the bathroom.
Yes.
Immediately. Here's one of the best things too. Mirrors.
Doesn't. Oh, okay.
Mirrors now. You're gonna see this spot coming up in a bit. But in 2016, somebody could be in a mirror and you could be behind them with a gun and they like wouldn't respond. Now
They can see in the reflections?
yeah.
Cool.
So right now Diana is telling us 47, you know, your supplies are in the car park. So that's where I'm headed now. Going to gear up.
Cool.
There's the target, which is
That's
so
cool. That's
dude.
really cool.
That this race is happening
Yeah.
as you're going through the stage.
You spit everywhere.
Sorry, I get excited about Hitman because it just feels so good.
I gotta say,
especially when you think about the story of the franchise in terms of like their journey, you know, from like Square Enix to now Warner Brothers. They had retained the rights. It's just a feel-good story. I get excited. The reboot, you know, blew this franchise up in popularity. You know, it's always been around. It's been a staple of
PC audience mostly.
exactly. But now I feel like it is at the big time.
It's for everybody now.
And it just feels good. So like right here, this guy,
it seems important. That dialogue seemed important about the medication, the hydration boost.
Oh, that's the thing too, is there are so many opportunities to pick up just on conversations that lead to side missions, side opportunities, if you will.
Yeah, dude.
Not in a traditional side quest way, but see, that guy, if I took him out, that guy would have seen it.
In the reflection.
In the
Nice.
reflection. Attention to detail. Here, I botch it.
What's that say? Fountain view?
Security cameras got me. So I
Oh,
gotta destroy the evidence.
What'd you do?
I went into the camera right there. That's what that was.
But you didn't do anything suspicious.
But
They would check it later.
47, just like in the last one, it's like even 47, any evidence of his presence at all
I like
is
this.
sketch.
Please tell me you get that outfit.
You can, but I didn't.
Damn it.
This is weird because like that guy is an imposter.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and he took out that guy.
A third party.
A third party. Something's going down with this guy. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, should I take him out?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? The car park is coming up, and that's where I get my equipment and, spoiler alert, some action.
Oh, yeah. It better be the case. The briefcase.
No, I don't
Damn
get
it.
the briefcase. I don't get the briefcase.
Do you think this is the opening level of the game?
I do.
It's really good. It's vibrant. There's just a lot going on. I really like this.
So much going on, Kyle. This is like, you could just hang out in this level
So
for
far,
so long.
I like what I've seen more than any of the Hitman levels you showed me from the first
Really?
level.
Even
yeah.
the art house in the reboot?
Yeah.
The grand, like, palace art house.
Is that the one with the chandeliers and the
Yeah.
models? Yeah, that one's okay.
Yeah.
That one's okay. This is already better than that.
Silenced pistol.
Oh, yeah. I love how he just has it behind his back when he holds it there.
Yeah.
So good.
So they're giving me more intel here of, you know, if you disguise yourself as the mechanic,
Yeah.
you can get close.
Let's do it. Is that your goal right now? Is you playing this right now? You want to be going the pit crew?
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, we had support, you know, the walkie-talkie,
Right.
like a dev was there, and he was very, very hands-off, let me kind of go, but,
Great.
you know, once in a while would be like, hey, you can, you know, go this way or that way.
This is so cool, dude. I love the scenario.
But yeah, here's some action. So I don't have the key card.
Okay.
I need a security outfit to get in the VIP area. So I'm gonna lure this guy in, like
What'd you do? Would you just pull the fire
the
alarm?
fuse box.
Whoa.
So I go crouch down in a car
The
park.
shadows.
Yeah, shadows. Fiber wire. Yeah. Stalking this guy.
This is disturbing.
I feel bad. Again,
Just
in
some guy in a
my
polo
doing his
shirt.
job.
I'm like, yo, E3, my hands are clean. Like, it's fine. I don't have.
Jeez.
Feels intense.
It's just a simulation.
Yeah, it's just a simulation. I was like, oh shit, the door's locked. Botch.
Put him in the shadows.
Drag him to the shadows.
Yeah. That's like unsettling.
Yeah. It's a professional.
Yeah,
Dude,
he
this
is.
is so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Disguise.
It feels like the next step for the reboot in the best possible way.
So what's different? What's different?
Mechanically, everything felt the same. There's just more freedom, more opportunities, more detail. That's.
Well, did it feel more
How
polished?
did you see the dumpster? Maybe we just the contrast high on this TV.
Yeah,
It is.
okay.
Did does it feel more polished though than the first one, like the mechanic wise?
Yeah, movement, like everything just feels a little smoother from what I remember. And do you guys have any questions? Again, this thing is super long. We could skip forward again a little more.
I just want to say I think the bathroom is disproportionate to the stadium.
Okay.
It was one toilet, dude.
Okay.
No, there were two, there was a couple.
There were more
There was another
bathrooms.
stall.
The thing was tiny, dude.
That was just like a bonus bathroom.
It better have been a bonus bathroom.
Ian, try to fast forward to another
They
bathroom.
have the trough. Don't worry.
Wait, how long is the
Yeah,
clip?
it's very long.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's very. Here we go.
Huber, I was ready to watch you play, dude.
Oh no, keep going. I'm sorry.
Ian, I feel like we should turn the contrast back down because it's probably ridiculous for people at home, right?
Fast forward, Ian, to when I get another costume. Just when you see a costume change, and like
VIP
a minute
access.
before a costume change.
Like E3.
Okay, yeah, you
Did you
pause
see
here.
his security guard stance?
Yeah,
Look
that's
at that.
me, that's me.
That's
Wow.
so cool.
Because the guys, this is not this is a returning feature. People with white dots on them will recognize you if they stare at you for too long because that guy's security. So
Yeah.
he knows like, hey, what you're not security.
I didn't
you're
see you this
sketch.
morning. Yeah.
And it's so vibrant. There's so much life. Ben and I always talk about the Mardi Gras mission in Blood Money, one of the most legendary moments. Ben, come up here. Come up here. Ben's been playing 2016 Hitman. Dipping back into it.
I have.
Yeah.
That's a good video game.
It's a very good video game. And again, Ben, just the Blood Money vibes of like working your way through the cloud. There's some clipping, or there's some like clipping and stuff, but
Yeah.
again, pre-beta build. Disclaimer.
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. And just trying to get into each area here. Like, I'm stalking this guy now.
Yeah, you're
This
a creep.
is the next kill.
You're walking like a creep.
This next kill is graphic.
Shut the doors behind you.
Yeah, that was me. That was
Okay,
me. I
jeez.
love shutting the doors
Yeah.
behind me. It's
That's menacing.
yeah. This
And
next.
you could hang out and let's watch that interview too and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they talk about lore. What was a really nice thing that the director said, I loved this little detail. When you hear conversations in Hitman 2016, everyone is kind of either sketchy or like sad. There's like
Yep.
the guy with cancer and then like you kill him or and he's like smoking cigarettes and it's just kind of a dreary vibe. Like when you hear people in this game, it's just more realistic. Their conversations, they might be talking about happy things. Not everything is dark and dreary and depressing and menacing and violent. It's like people are just, having some drinks, enjoying the race. And I thought that was a cool detail.
Kind of an odd question, but you mentioned that I've been playing Hitman 2016, which is true. And something that's in Hitman 2016 and in Blood Money is I feel like the way the assassinations are designed, you have to kind of fight your own impulses. Like in a lot of stealth games, as soon as somebody is alone, you want to take them out.
Yeah.
But in Hitman, if you don't, there might be an even better, safer opportunity, or you might get even more information out of them. And so sometimes it's better to just sit there and watch. Did you kind of get that sense?
Right
kitchen, man.
now, Ben.
Okay.
Because I need I need the kitchen outfit now to
up
disguise
that tray?
myself as a waiter, to
pick up that
poison the
tray.
guy's drink, to then kill him.
Oh my god.
So
it's
that
like
we're part of the pit crew.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I need a kitchen outfit first.
So you get a
Ooh,
knife?
I really want you to throw that knife.
Knife in a pumpkin,
I get a
dude.
knife.
Oh my god.
Use the fish.
I picked up the fish, but I didn't get to use it.
Ooh, poison?
I'm upset about that, Ian. So I
There
get
was
the
a
poison.
that rat
billboard with
poison?
the fish as a
Yeah.
weapon down at E3.
Are there collectibles?
Not that I saw. No.
It just seems like the collectibles are just unique things to kill people with.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
Ooh.
getting my hands dirty here.
I
said,
like
you know.
this because in Hitman 2016, when you would like switch, it'd pop up on the whole screen. So it's
Yeah.
nice that they made that a little bit
Yeah,
smaller.
little-
What is this?
Dude,
Why?
I know. Watch this. This is graphic.
You're panicking. Huber's panicking.
Oh no, it's a different guy. I was nice to this guy. I'm sorry.
He's just a waiter.
I'm sorry.
That was the most suspicious
Yeah.
choke I've ever seen.
I'm sorry. There's an actual kill. I didn't kill him because I was a waiter for like 9 years in my life. I wanted to show
Sympathy.
mercy.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what?
So you throw him in the freezer?
So I throw him in the freezer.
He's dead, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
He's locked in there. He's gonna wake up and freeze to death.
No one but
Just a
Hubert can
cruel
say,
fate.
I'm sorry that I didn't gut this guy like a fish.
You can fast forward one more time now to another costume change, and
Getting a Rice Krispie.
that's again it's like the director's cut here.
Well, I want to see you pick up the tray, dude.
No, I don't actually.
You lost track
I
of
just
the
put a
mission.
little poison in his drink. And it's cool because there's another waiter kind of floating around, and the blend in mechanic is back. So I blend in at the bar, kind of wipe it down. I love that the race is going on in the TV back there.
Yeah, and the car's
It's
still spinning by, dude.
just
Atmosphere.
like this was the most sucked in I've been at E3
Wow.
this year. It was playing this hands-on demo for sure. And that's just Hitman in general, you know. It really sucks you in. It kind of asks a lot of you in a way.
It does.
It asks you to be patient, to get absorbed in this world, and to be okay with not only being overwhelmed but like botching your mission. You know, it's a somewhat demanding game, but there's so many opportunities that it kind of caters to everyone. You know, there's a way to there's so many ways to get through. Like you'll find a
Cleaning
way.
the table. That's
Like
cool.
it's
He's
cool.
blending in.
It's cool because the very, 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 very end of this demo will show multiple ways that I could have done it. It'll give us a little montage.
I love the process of Hitman, though. Like, doing the mission one time and you're like, I completely botched that. I didn't realize that once I did this thing, this other thing would happen. And then you eventually get to a point where it's like, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
I thought through every single possible thing that could happen, and I killed him, and no one noticed me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so awesome.
It's like,
Oh, here we
that's
go.
the best, Ben. The first time you play the mission
He's feeling
is
sick.
my favorite, and
Yeah.
like the 20th time.
Yep.
So when you're going in blind, and when you're a master, it's like
And it's not like when you get to that 20th time, it's just you're trying to do the thing that you did at the beginning. As you go on, you notice more things, and the plan gets more and more complex over time, and it's just
The
so
knife.
awesome.
Shuts the door.
Yeah.
Get the
The
knife.
way the guy walks in, he shuts the,
knife.
door, dude.
The crouch too.
Why the knife?
Oh man.
see how his body
Blood on the wall.
crumpled into the corner.
Yeah.
Also, the contrast is pretty crazy. More detail, like blood coming
splatter.
out of his neck, which was crazy.
I saw some splatter.
It shocked me.
I mean, did you not have your cord still?
I wanted a little kill
Oh,
variety.
spice.
Does it
You
not
know?
damage the costume to be covered in blood?
I don't think so.
No.
He's professional.
Didn't think it. Yeah,
He's professional. He doesn't get dirty.
That's actually a good. That's a good point. Ian.
I think it's actually not part of the simulation.
Huber, one of the best things about Hitman is the accidents and how creative they are.
Yeah.
And how clever you have to be to find some of them. Did you get any good accident opportunities?
So the very end right here, I'm the pit crew now, so I'm kind of on the way to the final spot. And Ian, if we could just fast forward to when I'm in like the garage.
Okay.
Yeah. Coming up. There it is.
Hubert returned to the scene of the crime for no reason.
Yeah.
Why'd you go back in
I was
there?
like,
dude?
Admire the kill.
the dev was like, "Hey, make sure you picked up the key card."
Oh,
and
okay,
I had already. He was like, "Okay." So you're part of the pit crew here. You're like a rookie. That's the context here. And-
Lucky.
yeah.
Man, look at the detail in this garage.
Right? So, right here, Ben, is the answer to your question. You
Okay.
can, like, there's 3 separate ways you can kind of tamper with the car.
Okay.
And it depends on what you have. I picked up a remote mine in the garage. Not the prettiest or the stealthiest way, but it's all I had. There's also, you can pour, like, sugar
Okay.
in the gas tank.
Classic race car
I like how
sabotage.
slowly you go through these things and how you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you have like a wrench, you can like
Oh, dude,
weaken
I
the.
would've
That's
done
the
that.
one.
That's the one that's the one I want.
Right in the
Did you
wall.
do that
Boom!
one?
I only had the bomb.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
We gotta find that
Damn,
wrench.
damn.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Damn.
So yeah, this is the final cutscene. So this is actually great. It'll show this assassination and then all the other kind of ways.
Cinematic
that-
kill.
Yeah, just slap a mine on there.
Okay.
Again, not discreet.
Right.
You know, you want to be a professional. You want to do it the
Yeah.
cleanest, stealthiest way.
Noticed kill.
Yeah. Like clearly,
Slaps
forensic
a bomb
evidence
on the
is going to be
back.
like,
Yeah.
yo, a bomb was planted on this car.
Yeah.
He actually wouldn't tell me I was like, is there going to be more like mission to mission stuff depending on if I played it sloppy? And he's like, can't really comment on that right now.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I was like,
If the answer was no, he would have said no.
Yeah.
So there's
I asked about co-op, which was first time introduced in the
Sniper mission?
the pre-order sniper assassination mission.
So there's a precedent.
And I said, is that going to factor into Hitman 2 at all? And he said, we're not commenting on that at this time. So take that as
Maybe there's
Hubert.
something. Yeah.
If there is co-op, day one kills.
I know.
Day one kills.
Yes. So I'm going to like the final spot.
To observe
Yeah,
and
to
admire
observe
your work.
because it's the range of the remote
Oh,
line.
okay, gotcha.
You want to go up to the view spot, which is right up here.
The view spot.
A view to a
Get a
kill.
good look.
Yeah.
Man, I just love how many people there are.
So many
I really like that it
people.
came to E3 with this level. This is cool.
Yeah. It was just it's so good. It's so much fun. And I asked him, I was definitively asked him about how it connects to Absolution and all them. Because they were always cagey about that. And he's like, hey, we honor all of those. Basically, the answer was like, yeah, we kind of retcon some stuff, but it is a soft reboot.
Mission accomplished.
So mission accomplished. So you can snipe.
Whoa.
That's what I was gonna ask. is
Right?
Can you shoot him while he's driving by?
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
Here's a wrench.
Dude, that's a good kill.
Yeah. Blend in. Take that guy
Yeah.
out. Disguise yourself as him. Like,
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait, I don't see how that would not do solution though.
Coconut?
throw a coconut at a guy. Infiltrate.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
dude.
I want to play this so bad.
Oh man,
Wow.
masterful kill.
Little fish.
Oh.
Think deadly.
This game.
It's
November.
it's got so much style, and it's so great because it's so serious, it's so dark, and it's so playful at the same time.
Yep.
It strikes a very, very fine. It straddles a fine line and strikes a perfect balance. Because that whole intro, Kyle, that you were like, "Yo, this is a big prologue." It's talking about war crimes. These people are giving weapons to another guy that like bombed civilians.
Guilt-free
Yeah,
assassination.
guilt-free. You're killing bad people. Exactly.
You can shape
Except for the
Hitman.
waiter.
Except, yeah.
can-
Let the waiter live.
You can shape Hitman around your mood. Mission to mission. However you feel.
nuts.
Had a bad day? Slap him with a fish.
Because even the Mardi Gras level we keep coming back to, Ben.
Right.
You can just like go crazy.
Yeah, you can just unload.
if you're in a bad mood, it's like collateral damage.
Right.
Or you can play it, professional, the masterpiece assassination.
But we talk about the
that
Mardi
they
Gras
talk
revel
about.
in Blood Money, and you really get this sense in Hitman 2016 too, is it's not just about the crowd. Like that is the first thing that you notice, and it's like, oh man, I'm gonna have to kill these targets with so many potential witnesses. That's the thing kind of wrapping around all of it. But you go into those buildings, you're at the bar, and you realize like how nested all of these little compartments are amidst this huge crowd.
Yeah.
And like that's what's amazing about Hitman 2016. And I was watching somebody talk about Hitman 2016, and they brought up a brilliant point. I believe it was Super Bunny Hop, and they were like, you will find something at the other end of the map that connects to something at the other end of the map. It's not just like these random elements that you play with, it's random elements that work together that you can play with. That's so cool.
Great. So great. A living, breathing world. Like, they're not just people standing around. Everyone was doing something, and it's great.
Unbelievably hyped, man.
Good playthrough,
It's
dude.
so
Good
great.
playthrough.
Yeah.
Next on the list, changing gears to something a little more easygoing, but also very heavy in a way. The Adventures of Captain Spirit.
The awesome adventure.
The awesome
Let's in for this one.
Ooh.
of Captain Spirit.
Here, buddy, you can take my spot.
A 100% free video game.
Why are we even talking about it then? Let's just buy it.
We can't get it
Let's
yet.
just play it on her.
Yeah, this will be brief because I don't want to spoil anything. Because they said this game is about 2 hours.
2 hours. Whoa.
About 2 hours, so it's kind of basically like one chapter length of a traditional Life is Strange games.
Yeah.
Confirmed that was not Jason Voorhees.
I guess that makes sense.
By the
then.
way.
Really?
Yeah, it is not Jason Voorhees.
What was their response to that question?
Oh man,
They're like,
this gotta
No.
be the sweetest moment, right?
There's
there.
like
Hang
no.
on.
And because you see him like you see the action figures close up too. It was just that in the trailer.
Was it just
The
a
depth
guy?
of field.
It was just a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's alright. There's bears though. And he has like a shotgun dart gun in his toy box. Love this kid.
Oh, there's the bear man.
Yeah. So this is Chris. He's almost 10 years old. And again, this is like I don't want to use the word jolly because it really isn't. You're a kid with a beautiful imagination, which in itself is heartwarming. But at the same time, your mother passed away. Your dad is drinking more. It's not the trope of like an abusive father. He's going through a rough time, but it was really realistic. Like he got angry at one point in a conversation with Chris, and he was like, "Don't swear, like, sorry, just don't curse," So
He's trying to be a good dad.
He's trying to be a good dad. It's a really trying time, a really hard time.
Did they say? I mean, this is weird because it almost feels like it could step into spoiler territory. But when they talk about like the Life is Strange universe, like, what does that mean?
Bloodworth, this is gonna tie directly into Life is Strange 2 somehow. Like they keep saying, this is in the universe. It's all connected. This is connected. We're not talking about it though because it comes out so soon. We want you to discover it.
Okay.
In fact, he said, "Quote: There are nods to Life is Strange." Confirmed.
Were you just filled
nods.
with elation?
Yeah.
Right when he said
I
that.
smiled. It's a nod. So yeah, again, I don't want to talk about it too much because it's a 2-hour game that comes out in less than 2 weeks, and I want everyone to play it. There's really no excuse because it's free.
Does it hold up to your expectations?
It absolutely holds up because one big improvement is that you can freely move around during some dialogue options. You're in your room.
Oh.
You're in your room, and your dad calls to you, breakfast, and you're moving around, and you can answer or not answer. Just a nice little fluid touch, seamless touch. Make it everything just feels less stiff compared to Life is Strange.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of what I was thinking right there. Like, there's a little bit of that strangeness, but you feel like it's improved here.
Yes, absolutely. Everything just seems smoother all around, from the visuals to the dialogue to the exploration. Again, the demo we saw, basically you're just in the house. And yeah, I don't want to spoil much, but it's a Saturday morning. He's home from school. He's going to go play. He's going to play.
That's one day?
I didn't ask that, but the demo started on a weekend. Your dad is watching the basketball game. So your dad's sitting in the living room watching the basketball game, and you make your superhero costume, which you have a little choice in the design
cool.
of it as well. You can say, do you want to wear a mask or a helmet? And you can choose.
Can you suggest esports instead?
For your dad?
Dad,
Yes.
Overwatch League is on.
He's watching. watching basketball. And he's
I'm sorry
into
if you
it.
already said this. What year was this supposed to be?
They didn't really say, but I think I read online. Let me know, chat, that it is in between Life is Strange 1 and 2. That might be confirmed.
Oh, okay, but it's not like back in the 80s or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
Let us know, chat, though, if I got that wrong.
So I am way down for a 2-hour free game that tells this really nice, intimate story.
Yeah.
But when I look at what they're presenting in the trailer, though, you have this kid who it seems like you're playing in the imagination, you're doing all these crazy scenes, and you're going to potentially all these different places, and that's 2 hours worth of stuff there on its own, but you also, it seems like, have this relationship with your father that you need to come to understand, and you need to understand the kid, and maybe potential pain from what happened to his mom. It just seems like a lot. Do you think 2 hours is enough?
I'm glad you asked that, because I was going to elaborate. He really got into it. He was like, yo, you can critical path this 45 minutes. A normal playthrough,
It's like 2 hours.
2 hours. If you really want to soak it up and get everything, like 3 to 4 is a more reasonable reasonable expectation, and it's all free. There will be nods to Life is Strange somewhere in there.
Confirmed.
And I just really want to talk about the imagination, because when I got to talk to him, I was saying, Life is Strange has the time mechanic. Before the Storm briefly dabbled with a little bit of like powers, if you will. And, to me, the power in this is his imagination. And I just asked them about it, and they were just so cagey. They didn't want to answer really anything because it's so close, and they really wanted people to kind of dive in blind. But it's great. You can some objects you can interact with as Captain Spirit, because like when he puts the cape on, when he puts the power on, he's no longer Chris. He's Captain Spirit. So you can kind of like it changes kind of the way you interact with things, and that's pretty much it. Any little questions or anything or
this month?
Yeah,
This month.
exactly. Less than 2 weeks, everybody, and it's 100% free. And they,
What do you get to lose?
Yeah, nothing to lose.
Right.
And they were so upfront and forward about it. The first question was, why is this free? And he said, because we believe in this series so much. We're so passionate about it. We have Life is Strange 2 coming out eventually. He said, which will be revealed in the coming months.
Whoa.
Confirmed.
Gamescom?
He dropped that little bomb. But he said, we want to get this out there to people that, maybe skipped one or maybe wouldn't put in the time to go back and play Life is Strange, trying to give it to an audience that wouldn't necessarily give it a shot. So they believe in it so hard that it's just going to be 100% free.
Cool.
Love it. Yeah. Great,
Good stuff.
Great stuff.
100% free, 100% heart.
No loot boxes.
No loot boxes.
But next on the list for our games, Ben Moore, you played SoulCalibur 6.
Yes, I did. So there's the at Bandai Namco, they had this press area and there were a bunch of things that you can play, and I was like, well, I'm starting with SoulCalibur 6, and then it got to the point where I was like, oh damn, if I don't leave right now, I'm not gonna have any time to play anything else. That's how much fun I was having.
Ooh.
And I do want to set it up a little bit. I was playing in the way the stations are set up is for 2 players. They want you to get another random person in there or a friend. And I went up and there was nobody else around. And I started playing. I was picking my stage, picking my character. All of a sudden, this guy comes up and he doesn't say anything. And he picks Sophitia and we do a match. And he's very, very good. And I ask him questions. I'm like, hey, how's it going, man? How's E3? Nothing. And the match ends, and he goes, one more? He said, I don't remember the exact count, but if I had to guess, I think he said one more to me like 7 or 8 times.
He came to E3 for SoulCalibur.
Well, it kept as we kept playing, and as
is this back in the press area?
This is back in the press area. This happened.
This is amazing.
As our bond forged from combat, he opened up and he started talking more, and I don't think he was on the press side. I think he was on the business side. But he was from Korea, and he said that he loved SoulCalibur and that he only played Sophitia, and that was it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sophitia main.
Yeah, and
I gotta
have a
say
chance,
though,
dude.
like, I feel like anytime there's a fighting game, this happens.
Oh yeah.
Remember, like when you guys were like trying to do the Cydia?
Oh, that was me and Damiani.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Right, yeah.
Oh my god. Because me and Damiani went up there. I never played the
this is
city
the first time it's happened to me
ever. I mean, Damiani just like trying to like hop in and like learn how to play. We're playing these 2 freakos who are like masters at this game. We probably played for a minute. Then they're like, okay, cool, game's over. Bye. And we were like,
just wrecked you.
Yeah.
We just were like,
I had the
didn't give us
exact same thing.
Zero mercy.
The exact same thing happened to me when they had Killer Instinct.
Oh my
for
god,
Xbox.
dude. Get some full gore in there.
There are
Going
people
nuts.
that like camped out on that Killer Instinct booth like the whole 3 days of E3.
Professionals. MLG.
No, but shout outs to this guy though, because he actually made it a really good experience. He was clearly better than me, but it was.
But he made it fun.
He made it fun, but there was also really close matches, and I loved that as this slew of matches went on, we were both trying different strategies with each other. You know, and it wasn't like neither one of us had no idea what was going on. It was, hey, let's stress these mechanics the way that they're meant to be stressed. Yeah, and so ever since I played SoulCalibur VI a couple of months ago at another Bandai Namco event, I've been really feeling SoulCalibur, and so every so often I'll pick away at like SoulCalibur 2, and I'm hyped for SoulCalibur. And I feel like I'm still super scrubby, but I'm a little bit better off than I was before, and I feel like my opinion on certain things has changed since I first saw it. And the biggest thing, and probably the biggest new mechanic in SoulCalibur 6 is the reversal edge. And so you hold down a button, R1. They had these really nice fighting sticks at the booth, by the way. Anyway,
Nice.
And what this does is it absorbs hits. However, you can do a number of hits to the person doing the reversal edge to break them out of it. And so it's not like you're completely invulnerable as you're charging this thing up. But if you land it, you go into kind of an Injustice style clash where you get to pick from several options. You can do a horizontal attack, a vertical attack, a kick, or a dodge. And it's sort of rock, paper, scissors where one attack beats another. And when I first saw this, I'm like, is this gonna be overused? Is it gonna get lame? Is it too, like, is rock, paper, scissors really all that exciting? And it actually, I think, is a pretty awesome mechanic because this guy was a very aggressive player, and I was like, okay, he keeps doing these like low to high mix-ups, like how do I deal with this? And the reversal edge was a perfect option where it was like, okay, he's gonna go in, I'm gonna absorb his attacks, and then have this huge counter.
Nice.
And so I did that, and I was like, oh, okay, I did that, and then I won that round, and so that was a really satisfying feeling.
That's great.
But he caught on that I was using it, and they're extremely slow attacks. So if you know that your opponent likes using them, they also, like, it's very easy to sidestep these attacks as well and do a huge punish on the player. And so we just kept, like, mixing with each other. And I was playing as Geralt for the very first time, and playing on the Karen Morin stage, the training grounds. Yes. And it looked, I mean, it's not like a super crazy stage or anything. I mean, it's basically a square arena. But just seeing the training grounds in the background really gives you a good feeling. And hearing the Witcher music to go along with it, like, like you're just like, all right, my soul is burning. Yeah. It feels really good. And he's so much fun to play. Obviously, with his sword, he has quite a lot of range, which is really nice. But the biggest hype moment for me is there's a mechanic called Soul Charge, and you can burn a bar of meter to do it. And it's basically a power-up state where you get new moves in this state, you're stronger. And when Geralt does it, and he's one of the characters, he zooms in. Geralt is chugging a potion. Your sword lights on fire, and you're whipping it behind your back and just slicing into them, and it feels really good.
That is awesome.
Does he change swords at all?
I believe,
on who you're fighting.
Man, I could be so wrong on this, but I honestly think I was just using the steel sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like, what if you're fighting like Nightmare? Does he count as a monster or something like that?
Right.
And does he?
I was only fighting Sophia.
Okay. So
Well,
steel sword
right. I
then.
played another guy who was Killick, so
Steel sword then.
Does he have his powers like shield?
Yes.
Quinn.
But this has been frustrating the 2 times that I've played SoulCalibur 6. So yes, he does. He has the fire. He has the mind control.
Nice. So he's got
based
them
on the
all.
trailer. However, they didn't have a command list for SoulCalibur 6, and I've never played. There will be a command list in the full game, but in these demos, there was not a command list for me to look at to get these moves, and so I wasn't doing that stuff, and that sucked.
Just learning on the fly.
Yeah, learning on the fly as best I could.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Blake.
So I know that this is probably not something you've seen in the demo. I don't know if you got to talk to anyone about it, but I'm curious. In the past, when I played SoulCalibur 2, that has a very meaty single player mode. Do you have any kind of hint of what single player is going to be like?
Yeah, so there was a theater presentation, and they talked about story mode, and they revealed the story mode yesterday, I believe.
Okay.
And so what it is going to be, based on the trailer, it definitely seems like a retelling of the events of SoulCalibur 1. And instead of being like a single story mode, like something like a Tekken 7, where you're bouncing between characters and perspectives, every single character in the roster in SoulCalibur 6 will have its own story that you go through, and you'll piece that all together for one larger narrative. So, but as far as other modes beyond that, which SoulCalibur is known for, I didn't see anything like that, and I haven't heard any information along those lines.
Okay. The presentation of the story, you were telling me it's like hand-drawn.
Yeah, so something I don't like about something like SoulCalibur V, for instance, is in the story, you know, they have cutscenes, but they also do like this 2D art for a lot of the presentations, and that's very common in Japanese fighting games. But I just, having seen other examples of games, like, not everybody loves the story mode in Tekken 7, but I really love the cutscenes in that and how flamboyant they are and how fun they are. And so when you just see 2D still images, it's
like
just not as exciting.
Injustice also, where it's like crazy.
Yeah. And I'm not saying everything has to do it the same way, but I just remember going through the story in SoulCalibur V and feeling like the presentation really kind of sucked out my investment into what was going on. And so I haven't seen the story mode, I haven't played the story mode, and so I don't want to sit here and condemn it, because I don't know, maybe it's told amazingly, but that what they were talking about left me with a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, sure.
So
that does seem crazy though, that every character has their own story. That's a lot. Yeah, and you know, all that stuff's back with like currency and armor and customization and all that. So that's probably a lot to go through. Final thoughts, Ben. You know, you've played all of the SoulCaliburs. You love SoulCalibur.
I actually haven't played SoulCalibur 3.
Oh.
Yeah. I've played 1, 2, 4, and 5.
Nice.
But I haven't played 3 for some reason. So.
Takeaways, you know, just, you know, looking at the history of SoulCalibur and judging from what you played months ago, just how are you feeling right now? What's your anticipation level for SoulCalibur 6? Are you confident? Are you nervous about anything? Some final thoughts.
Yeah, when I played SoulCalibur 5, I wasn't feeling it. It wasn't a game that I wanted to get better at. It wasn't a game that I wanted to put a lot of time into. Just something about the movement didn't feel right. And it's a very nebulous thing to criticize. I understand that. Like it's not a good critique. But
I think for like a fighting game though, that's like a totally
and that's
a point that makes like total sense.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the first time I played SoulCalibur 6, I'm like, this feels like SoulCalibur 2. Like this is faster. This is more exciting. Just moving around the stage feels smoother. It feels better. Like landing the hits feels better. And so I was just immediately drawn to it. And like I said, even if you don't have like super lengthy combos down and you're not a master of the character, even just learning how to master something like the reversal edge, or powering up, or when to power up your character with soul charge, or when to do a super, or like how to break off armor. There's enough mechanics that it's really interesting to try to outthink your opponent, but it's not so much that I was drowning in mechanics and struggling to remember what everything even was.
Cool.
And so it was just fun, man. I will say, every time that guy said one more, I was like, Masters, yeah, let's go. Let's do another fight. Let's do another fight.
Beautiful.
And that's when you know you're excited for a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like
Excellent.
I'll end on this. This is the last thing I will say. There's a lot of exciting stuff I saw. I'm really hyped for Mega Man 11. Obviously, Resident Evil 2. There's been a bunch of cool games that I could play. The only game that I've repeatedly tried to get back to just for one more round has been SoulCalibur 6.
Excellent.
Wow.
I really want to play more
High
SoulCalibur
praise.
6. Yeah,
Cool.
it's awesome.
Very
All right. My favorite thing to do is dream and speculate. Each of you has 3 seconds to have one fighter you want in SoulCalibur 6.
Oh.
Daniel Bloodworth, go. 1, 2, 3. Too late. Ben.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Boom. Ben, 1.
Mega Man.
2. Mega Man. Brad.
That makes no sense.
Paul McCartney.
You had 3 seconds. You got something.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Yellow Submarine version.
If you see like a man in a suit holding a guitar, and his head whips around and he goes, "My soul still burns."
Yeah.
Oh,
my
man.
soul still burns.
Oh, Ringo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ringo, get in my axe.
So next up,
terrible part of the
Damiani played some Days Gone today. I played some too.
I played some.
Brad played some.
Jones in for this one.
Oh wait, you've played some too.
I played a earlier build.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you top Days Gone?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, Damiani, someone to get on one.
Oh, what? Where do you want to be, Damiani?
Doesn't matter.
Let's take a seat.
Doesn't matter.
Take a seat.
This is surreal, man, because I'm cutting our podcast over here, so it's like I just stepped onto the podcast. I got you guys in my head. I got him looking at all. What's that? What is life?
I get an appreciation, dude, for how long.
Jason
you spend
Voorhees.
editing. It's an edit, man.
Yeah. I usually spend a little bit longer than I'm
Kyle.
going right now. I am skipping ahead. Are they still talking about Microsoft? No. Jump ahead 5 minutes. Still talking about Microsoft?
Cool.
Nice.
My.
So
Also, my
Damiani,
Days Gone
yeah,
annual
you
time.
came away with some good impressions right away.
Yeah. So I thought I was only going to, for me, not personally. I thought in my mind, I'm only going to Sony because I just want to play Spider-Man. And then I walk over and I see Mr. Daniel Bloodworth playing Days Gone. I'm like, oh, they have Days Gone. I'm like, yeah, you should just try it out after Bloodworth finishes. And I'm watching Bloodworth play it. And
Also, these guys know us. Everybody at Sony knows us somehow.
I see how you die in that game. Like you're doing this stage where you're basically
Feeling
in this
himself.
large field,
Yeah.
Bloodworth, and your objective is to kill like a huge horde of zombies, and that's it. And you have like this large field of with tractors and like gas tankers and buses and big rigs, like on this like farm environment. And I just see Bloodworth doing all these crafty things, like placing remote mines in like in one of the open like rigs, and you run through a narrow passage, so they bottleneck in there, and he detonates it. And like, oh wow, Bloodworth's really smart in doing this. And then I see them every time they get around Bloodworth, surround him, and kill him.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my
I
gosh.
must have tried like 7 or 8 times.
And the person next to him playing too, same
You guys-
difficulty.
you
Second
guys too?
attempt.
Wow.
Wow, Jones.
Now who's feeling himself?
Look at that, Jones. Okay, pro Jones over here. So I'm seeing this. I'm just like, I'm terrified of like, yo, I'm gonna like die in 2
is
seconds.
creepy.
But they sit me down and they're like, yo, there's like a story tutorial area at the beginning that let's start you there. So that's where I started.
So just a little context before you jump into it. So
Yes,
this is
help me out.
this is the third completely separate demo Days Gone brought to E3, and I thought that was cool. That like
Nice.
I played a demo at Judges Week that was totally different. That Hubert and I already sat down and we talked about, so you can watch that video separately. And then they had these 2 separate demos. I jumped right to the pit one that you just
'Cause you're
described because it
familiar.
looked so cool, and it was the first. It was it wasn't the same environment, but it was, if you recall, go all the way back to the first time we ever saw Days Gone. It was that. It was basically playing.
Yeah.
What if you
Yeah.
saw
Okay, I remember that.
100 of these things
Yeah.
rushing at you?
And I think he said they are literally like 250, and this is a baby one.
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
so
yeah.
this is like a mission. It's not just a tech thing that they're showing off at E3. You'll stumble across these, and it's not like a trap. Like you can see one from a distance and be like, I'll do this later, and you'll mark it on the map. And then later, if you have enough ammo, if you got enough explosives, you're like, all right, I'm gonna go back and clear that thing out. And they had a different demo, and if you played the first demo, it automatically rolled into the second one. So you on like the menu screen, you could choose between the 2.
Exactly.
So 3 total demos.
And yeah, exactly. And I want to start just real quick because I have no previous exposure with this game other than seeing the original like trailer. That's all my interest was ever in this game. But sitting down and playing the initial story area where basically you have your friend, you arrive on a motorcycle and there's like a small group of these zombies, and you're trying to get to this garage because you need a fuel line or something for your
Apart from a motorcycle.
Fuel pump, I think.
Fuel
Yeah.
pump, sorry.
Yeah.
You need that, and your friend you come up with this crazy plan where it's like, hey, so you're not gonna like this, but you're gonna drive the motorcycle and lead them all around for a little bit while I sneak in, kill a few of them, and get the part we need. I'll meet back up with you, and we'll drive the hell out of here. And I'm like, all right, and I'm doing this. So again, remember, I've only seen the trailer. I don't know any context beyond this, so I don't know. They're like, oh, here's your shotgun and stuff. I'm doing stealth. I'm walking between bushes and stuff. Like, if I fire the shotgun, are they all gonna rush me? And like, I felt like
I was like, am I doing this wrong? Am I doing this right? It was so good. And then finally, one of them I just came across, like, I accidentally didn't see one. I was like, oh shit, it noticed me. And I just, like, shot it. And I was like, oh my God, are they coming? And, like, no one came. And I was like, oh, thank you. Yes, thank you. I don't want all them running at me and stuff. And it was intense. And I found out you can do stealth kills. You can sneak up behind them, hit the triangle prompt, do that.
You have melee attacks.
You have melee attacks as well. Oh, it's like
baseball bat.
You can, you can craft, if you have enough materials, you can craft, like, explosives and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
I don't know if you saw, if you find scrap and nails, you can make the baseball bat
a
spiked ball bat. Yeah.
The guy was explaining to me that you could do that before. I didn't actually do it, but
there was another thing that he explained, which I'm not sure that they did to everybody, but so like there were 2 different freaker types in the map there. So there were the little ones called the newts.
Oh gosh, he's like little children, like
and then there were the bigger freakers, and so the little ones are just like munching on bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was saying like if they won't like really mess with you unless you start messing with them or you get in their space, but if you do mess with one, they will all like swarm in on top of you. But they're saying what you could do is like they're not. The different types aren't friendly with each other. So you could lure one in, it would like try to eat, like lure one of the bigger ones in, it would try to eat one of the newts, and then the other newts would attack the big guy. So there's like a little crazy strategy you can do like that. Also, they're like nests, these crazy nests that did you not see them?
No, I didn't see nests. I saw what you just described before. I inadvertently got them to attack each other. Yes, so I did get to see that. It's like, why are they fighting each other?
Yeah, because I wanted to, but I didn't really see the best opportunity to make that happen. But the nest is like,
nest. What about them?
Like just like imagine like a dirty like crow's nest or something like stuffed into the side of the building or the back of a semi truck. Like this is like what these creatures do, you know, and I guess like part of some of your missions is like burning away nests and things like that, clearing areas out,
keeping them out. The smaller ones, I was laughing so hard because my encounter with the next one was hilarious. So then I was introduced that you can climb up a lot of structures in this game because you got it, like getting to the high ground is one of the things you want to do to buy time, as we'll discuss later on, when they're swarming around you and stuff. You want to get up and high. And I was climbing onto the roof to find the drop-in entrance for this objective in the garage, and there's 2 of them up there. And I was startled by the first one. I just like fire off around and headshot it. I'm like, yes. Then the other one was so small and got too close to me, I missed and I freaked out. I was like, he's gonna one-shot me or something. So I leaped off the edge of the building and was below it, and it's peeping its head over the edge. It I guess I don't know if it was supposed to do this because the developer behind me was like kind of laughing about it. It was just making this weird noise, and I just had my shotgun aimed at up at the roof, and then it would peek over and go. And then I'm like, just keep doing it. I'm gonna get you.
They're a little cautious. Like even when, because I was kind of freaked out because in the front of the gas station, they were kind of scattering back and forth, like running 2 corpses, and one of them saw me, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna come rushing at me, and it just kind of screamed, and then like ran away, and then ran back in front of me and screamed again, and then ran away. So like they don't want to mess with you, like they're just. And that's kind of unsettling in a way because they're unpredictable,
right?
And they're just really high pitched screeching noise, and they're kids. So if you're mailing a kid in the head,
you're like stabbing one in the head, you're like, oh, this ain't right.
It's a little disturbing.
The stealth finishing moves, you grab it by the ankle, pull it up, and
oh gosh, that one, that was brutal. That was brutal. Was it detail?
One little detail that I like though is you don't have to swap between melee weapons and guns. Like you like equip a gun, but like your melee weapon, like you just hit the right trigger and you swing your melee weapon, and if you like pull the left trigger, that's when you pull out your gun to aim and shoot. So like you can just like really quickly swap between the 2.
Don't want to spend too much more time on this part, except for the finale. The human beings who I forget what they're called again, that worship this like infection or whatever. That they they self-inflict these like cuts and burns on them because they think it makes it closer to these creatures, and it's like the perfect life form, and they like revere it. And your partner gets ambushed by them, and he's got tattoos on them, and they see that, like, they hate that. They want to purify him. So you have to watch this scene where they take like a blowtorch to the guy's arm, and they're like burning off his arm, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So like Huber would approve. He would like that like level of gore.
But one thing that I really liked about this, and again is why I'm into this character, is not because I think the story is gonna like really move me emotionally, but but like I'm into the idea, maybe not this particular protagonist, maybe not the guy from Force Unleashed specifically, but like the idea of being the one who's not afraid to go out into the world and get resources, clear out these nests, maybe rescue people, maybe like go take out other enemy camps or stuff like that. And one moment that I thought was not like genius writing, but just a good example of how I think this tone will just kind of slowly weigh on you as you go out into this world is when you finally do run up. I ran up and shotgunned those 3 people who were pinning him down, and then it changed to a cutscene where this guy gets back on his motorcycle and he's like, come on, and your friend gets up and like looks at his arm and is kind of in shock. And just says to himself, like, whoa, look at my arm. And his friend's like, we don't have time to look at it. Like, if you take the time, and you can see up the road, Walking Dead style, if you read the comic, I don't know if the show ever got into this, but just an ocean of things just like flying down the road. And he's like, we gotta get out of here. So like, you're the level-headed one in spite of all this stuff going wrong around you. And like, I'm excited to play a character like that.
So I only played the demo that Damiani played. I had to kind of rush through it for time, but the guns didn't feel that great.
They're hit or miss, yeah.
I shot the shotgun, the pistol, and I was like, this needs a little more oomph to it.
Okay.
Brad. Yes. The first time I fired a shotgun, I was standing up one of the smaller ones. It was just standing there, like we had a standoff. Right. Now I know they weren't ready to attack me. I had it lined up in my sights, and I shot. It just the recoil just goes like up for some reason, and like I like leapt back. Like I thought it was like a dodge back or something. I was like, "What the hell just happened here?" I don't know if it was like a glitch or something. It was just weird.
We had like the complete opposite experience.
And then, but no, it was not good. I didn't like that. I was like, that's not how a person would react firing a shot. You don't get knocked back like 10 feet like that. But after that, because I was like, oh, maybe there's like, you got to deal with like the recoil or something. After that, every shot was just like normal, like no movement whatsoever. And it didn't feel like there was any weight to any shots after that.
Okay.
So it was a little weird. But I didn't have any problems beyond like, it didn't feel like.
Sure, that's like a very specific thing for me. Right. But like when I'm playing a game like this where you're going to shoot a lot of stuff in this game. So I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of feel that particularly with the Horde. Like, I'm shooting into this, but I don't know that like how much of an impact I'm really making on this group of crazy things coming at me.
I do want to talk about that level.
Yeah, that was good. I was going to do the transition.
Yeah,
You're talking about bodies running over at the end of the comic and scene like that. Let's go right to that part.
Wow.
That was the next part of the demo where you just arrive on this environment and get off your motorcycle. It's like there's a giant group, 250 of these things.
It's like a logging camp, a construction site kind of.
Yeah,
it's definitely cool logging because there's like bundles of logs that you can use as traps. So like
Ewok style.
That's rad.
It's pretty cool, but it's like as soon if you haven't played it, you don't realize as soon as they're alerted to your presence, they're the Terminator. 250 Terminators coming, and they will not stop until you are dead. Because you want to know why, Jones? You cleared it in 2 times. This was my strategy. I want you to hear how like cheesy I tried to do this because I was so scared. I'm like, and I got to see Daniel go before me. I was like, I'm doing it my way. I had the motorcycle. I went in there tossing a grenade and I drove away. I drove across the map till it said you're leaving the zone. And like the music calms down. I'm like, all right, I'm safe. Let's rethink this. From the distance, just zerging me. I was like, you've got to be shitting me. They come across the whole map and they didn't. For the next 5 minutes, I just drove around the map and they just kept chasing me. And they would not stop. And the dude came over. I had to say like, I'm sorry, dude, but they will not stop until you kill them or you're dead. And I was like, it's the Terminator, 250 of them.
But not only that, the thing that's spooky, there was a lot of like divots in the dirt, so there were like little like trenches you could run into, and my mentality was, it's like, okay, they're all running at me in a big group. Let me like run in a straight line for a while. So I'll just kind of funnel them in and they'll be like in a straight line, and then I'll just duck around this truck, run around the back, and then be able to take like a smaller group of them. So I'm like trying that strategy, and I'm running around the side of the truck, and when I get around to the side of the truck, half of them are like, no, they just went around the other side.
Yeah.
So like trying to isolate them is impossible. Like they'll gum up over the truck. The first time I tried, the second time I did it, but the first time I died within 10 seconds. Like I got up on the top of a truck, realized that was a bad idea, tried to jump off the back of the truck and didn't even make it to the edge. Like they just like the second you like take 1 damage from one, you're completely screwed. And like when the camera pulled back, like I couldn't even see him anymore. They just piled over him.
So the first thing I did, Jones, kind of similar to you, after I drove around for a while, I was trying to like survey the area. And I was like, what are my options? On the hill, on the far side, there was a small little like cabin. And it felt high enough and it had enough stuff below it that they'd have to jump up a few hurdles to get up there. So I made my first stand up there as they were coming up a hill. So I'm like, I got the height advantage, everything. And I was like, yeah, they're getting up slow. It's like RE4. They're just climbing up here. Like, I got this. From the side, like, I just hear one. And like, it must have pushed me off at the top of the roof because I fell down and like, I didn't die. I just like, it like started to do it, but I fell down and like was able to run away. I was like, oh crap. Okay, let's not do that again. Let's not do that again. So I drove to the other side of the map and I crafted a few more remote mines on this road. I just set down like 6 of them and like next to each vehicle and stuff, like at bottlenecks. And then I drove back to the front and I was like shooting at them like, come here, come and get it. And then I slowly drive past each one and they trigger each boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking I'm so smart. They have this meter up top that represents how many of the horde you've killed. It's like full. It went down like just like a little bit after 6 of them. I was like,
the thing is like you expect the explosives to do so much more.
There's also like big gas trucks, and you think like, oh, it's gonna be great. They're gonna swarm one of those gas trucks, and it takes out like 6.
That's what I did.
7. Like
stayed on my motorcycle, led them through like tight corridors. So those gas tankers, are 3 or 4 of them, blew them up, took out more. I would like. What I started to do is I'd find a high vantage point on the other side of the map where they're going to chase me, put my motorcycle facing the right way, just beyond it a little bit. I'd wait for them to get close, use like the heavy machine gun, just like shooting into them, ran, and I was cheesing it. And it was going down and down and down. Every now and then I'd find another like a gas barrel I could shoot and explode. It was like down like the last like 20%. He even said like, it's almost over. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. And I've been at this for like 20 something minutes. Like, if there's a time limit, I would have been kicked off by now. But I think everyone was just like, dude, he's like cheesing and he's gonna do it on his first try. Driving back to the cabin, I clip a tree and die. Because I'm running on the motorcycle. Like I fell off, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get back on. And it like does the red effect fade to black. I'm like, and the dude's like, you were so close. I was like, oh, they don't get
one of the things that I want out of zombie games that like very few do, Resident Evil does actually. Going back to the PlayStation 1, you cleared the mansion. Like you go back to rooms and the room is cleared. And so you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry. And they actually, except when like hunters come in or like in later games when like there is a specific moment where we will reintroduce a different type of enemy or just more zombies to this area. And so it was like gratifying to like see that gigantic horde slowly get whittled down to and the last zombie that I killed was just by himself. Like I like could hear it and I'm like, oh, I thought I did. Oh, it's just this one last guy. So I just switched to my pistol, put a new clip in, like pop. Like all right, did it.
I love how this doesn't make you think rationally. Like I was so like my adrenaline was just like pumping. It was so intense. I mean, I'm sure the effect wears off after enough time playing the game, but like, yeah, I like logically it should have been like the horde is much smaller now, dude. You don't have to like you can take more time. I just saw one crossing a street too far ahead of me, and it took my eyesight off what was ahead of me longer. So I figured, oh, he's gonna intercept me. And then when I look back straight, tree, boom, dead. I was like, oh my, like it just got in my head. I was like, this is so, and like I didn't feel this way since RE4, like the village part. Like this was what. This is literally how I felt.
That's great.
I was like so good. Like the first part, opening demo, there wasn't anything too terribly special about it. Yeah. It was okay. It was enjoyable, but like it wasn't doing anything too unique to that wowed me. This second part of the demo was like, yes, like I want more moments like this in the game, and it sold that concept from that original trailer.
The weapon wheel is interesting.
Yeah.
L1 slows everything down like Horizon, and then you have your weapon wheel. And if you, I'm not sure if I really love this or not. If you hold the analog stick in any direction, it like another wheel will go for a couple seconds, and then it'll open up other variants off of that branch. So if like it's my shotgun, if there's other types of shotgun ammo you can craft, or if it's explosive things, then it'll go up to like dynamite or Molotov cocktails or C4 or and then I think R1 or some button, whatever button you could touch by holding the right analog stick, L and L1 at the same time, depending on what you're selecting, will craft more. So that's why you didn't start with a bunch of Molotovs, but I was able to like craft a bunch.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really fun, and that was something. Depending if I have a little time to kill tomorrow, it might be fun to go back there.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
this is
This is the opening. It's hilarious how this
story
person
demo.
playing is like went this way. I went the back route.
Way
I
the
was
back way.
Me
Oh,
too.
yeah, yeah.
bushes. I did not
I went
directly
Solid
approach
Snake
this.
100%.
Yeah,
I was
where
like
you're
you.
going now, this like back here.
We might
This
see.
is where I
We
went.
might see the nest. I don't know.
So, and this is another thing. They'll eat each other. The
Yeah,
big ones.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. That's right there.
There it is. Look at it.
Oh no, he's
Look
attacking
at
one of the little ones. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So I want to say, there is a little jank in this game. Just
So that's
Oh,
it next
yeah.
year.
there's a little jank.
Yeah.
There's a little jank.
But I thought the movement was good. His movement, climbing up over things.
I like
and
the roll.
switching
I
between,
like the roll.
Jones, when
weapons
we
and.
played it.
Yeah, you can see. Well,
the performance
could have
was
seen it.
very, very poor. How does
Yeah.
this build compare to that?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, the frame rate at Judges Week was not fantastic, and I didn't really notice it this time. I didn't really think about it. Maybe
definitely
I'll do
noticed,
more of an eagle eye.
But I don't think it was as bad as you guys were describing, but it was still bad.
Yeah, for me, it was riding the motorcycle stuff.
I never rode the motorcycle on either one of these demos.
Outside the motorcycle, it seemed okay.
Okay.
But once I got on the motorcycle and started driving around, things got a little
chuggy.
rough.
Okay.
Yeah. Love this.
Cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if we'll see it, but there is a nest sticking out of. Now this is exactly what I did right here. I jumped right in that
jumped in
building.
there, yep, and then I picked up the toilet paper or whatever, crafting materials.
Oh, this guy went
Jumped
the
out
other
here, I
side.
stealth
Okay.
killed this, yep.
Oh, I didn't know that guy was
Yeah,
right
I
there.
stealth
Okay.
killed, yep, just like that.
Yeah, I'm grabbing all these crafting materials. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
Like,
I was
what?
grabbing
We gotta
something. I'm
make
like, oh, wait, I'm not
explosives,
gonna craft.
baby.
It's just deeply ingrained into your brain.
Yeah,
like
Metal
Metal
bat.
bat.
There's a metal bat back there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's make that.
cloth.
Love this.
Yeah, cloth for Molotovs and bandages.
Yeah, I kept
See, there you go.
Yeah,
so you
that's
see a
the
little
wheel.
whoop, you know.
Rock.
distractions.
Little distraction.
Yeah, we gotta
Nice.
throw it out the car.
What state are we in?
Oregon.
That's a guess, or you?
No, that's
it's
what
Oregon.
they said
Yeah.
at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And I would have guessed either
That's where
Pacific,
they're also
Pacific
located.
Northwest or like somewhere in the
In
Appalachian.
Bend,
No, I mean,
Oregon.
yeah, that's not Appalachian.
Oh, duh, of
So,
course.
Look at that. Nice. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Had fun.
Cool. Was not expecting a
Yeah, Damiani.
Yeah.
Days Gone take from
Yeah.
Damiani.
Just yeah. Probably because I was like coming off being super salty from Spider-Man.
And is this February? When's Days Gone?
It's 2019. I don't remember if it's February or not.
Might
We'll
be.
leave- we'll
Everything's
leave
like in
that.
February and January
February
and
22nd?
March.
Maybe.
This is
Yeah, 22nd. Yeah.
yeah, February 22nd.
Yay.
Along with like Anthem and.
Yeah,
like,
we're all going to be playing separate
with
games.
everything.
We're all going to be
It's
reviewing
crazy.
all
January,
different
February
games
is
all at the
crazy.
same time.
Good stuff.
Next up,
Yeah, what we got next?
Ian Hink
Ah,
got a
I need a
long
break.
demo.
I need
Oh,
brains.
yeah.
I want to get in on this one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
grab
looks
my
like Brandon's
water.
getting.
B-roll's rolling.
Alright, cool.
B-roll's rolling. Are you leaving? No, I'm grabbing water. You
Okay.
play this shit.
Oh, I know, dude.
B-roll's rolling. I want to sit in this chair.
This is the first one?
Yeah. I don't ever get to sit in this one.
If anyone else wants to hop in, that's
Look
cool
at
with
the
me.
SteamWorld Dig 2 pin.
Xbox. Hop in.
Xbox this is my last one.
Let's hop in.
Your
Tonight.
last Xbox?
No, I'm going home after this one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So's Damian.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Another early morning tomorrow.
Can you just tell me if you're gonna make a level that I play with you?
We're gonna make levels that everybody can play.
Ian, before you begin, may I plug the E3 Coliseum?
No.
No.
There are video game panels happening all day long.
how do I mute his mic?
You gotta go to Facebook to watch
He's
them,
number
I think.
two.
I think it might also be on YouTube.
Facebook?
If you have to watch a video on Facebook,
They
the
said,
Coliseum
They
should
gotta
be
be on Game
burned.
Slice.
they said it was on Twitch, and I couldn't find it.
Facebook video is a travesty unto the internet.
But they're trying. Facebook Gaming, they're trying. It's
Are they?
an initiative, yeah.
They have a
They're
booth.
trying.
in
Best
South
of
Hall.
luck to you, Facebook. Your video player is not
They
ideal.
do. I saw Warp Zone on it today.
Not
and
ideal.
Andrea's been doing a bunch of stuff on Facebook. She's hosting like 6 panels in the Coliseum.
If you're at the show floor and you're exhausted and you're anxious and you can't take the lines anymore, go check out that Coliseum.
No, man.
Just chill
Just go
out.
sit on the floor at Sony's booth. They got a nice, huge section of carpet.
But the thing
with,
is,
with
bud,
the
you can-
theater going.
And the air conditioning is blasted.
You can learn things all
you
day
have to
long.
go outside. And you can't take your bags back in if you go outside.
Oh, I got another hot tip. And it's Don's not coming back to E3, is he? Did Don play Jurassic World?
Don
Don owns
Are we-
Jurassic World.
Yeah, that game's out, isn't
It's
it?
The game is
yeah,
out.
Don has it. He's got
Don has had it for a while.
it. Yeah.
But it's
Don asked me a very beautiful question the other day.
Oh.
Beautiful question.
He leaned to me and he says, "Ian, will you stream Jurassic Park Evolution with me
Wow.
Nice.
every week?
What?
Did he mean it?
And I said yes.
Whether he meant it or not.
Don't count on
Yeah.
it. But I want to stream it with him because it'd be amazing.
Are we using a Move controller right now?
You
think?
are using the 6. I know for sure. I played this game with my hands
Is this
for
your
40
gameplay?
minutes today. No, this is their gameplay
Do we still call it
walkthrough.
6 axis?
It's just a
No,
move.
that was
No,
the
it's just a
PlayStation 3
controller.
controller.
Dual Shock 4, right?
Right, but he said the 6 axis is like the
tech.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
tech.
yeah.
Well, he
That
called
makes
it. He
sense.
just called it the gyro. But yeah, no, you are moving your imp. That character is called the imp, which is like
you can customize.
who you are. You can customize it. I picked a nice pink one, but you can customize it however you want. And that's like you in this game. But
Yeah, this red one's got like
You-
little devil horns and tail there.
yeah. You use your imp. You control it by moving the DualShock, which sounds terrible, but it's actually great. I don't really know a better way they could have done it actually, because of the
Did you have a
amount of
camera hooked up?
stuff.
That doesn't
Yes.
work without the camera, right?
Yes.
He had a camera
Gotcha.
hooked up. Well, you can move the
Yeah, you
controller
can.
has a gyro in it. You don't need the controller to move the gyro.
I think it just helps the tracking. But you're right.
I
Maybe you don't
I
need
don't
it.
think so. But,
I have never
you
played this
can-
game where they did not have a camera. I'm pretty sure you're gonna. I don't know if you're gonna
the
need it,
DualShock 4
but to do that move.
gyro you can do with just the controller, but you can control this game with move controllers also.
Okay.
Yeah, he told me that, and you can do it VR obviously. So the basic thing about this game is there is a story that comes with the game, which is a string of levels that they have made. It's called Art's Dream. There's like a real Tom Waitsy character who's a jazz musician who sleeps in his double bass case at night. It's very funny. And he kind of goes through various styles of gameplay. And they showed me a bunch of different samples, like 20 or 30 different samples of gameplay. It was crazy. Some of them are little 3D games where you walk around, jump around, platforming. Your imp can possess creatures in that style of gameplay, and then you like move around as that one, then you depossess it, possess something else, and we use that to solve some little puzzles. Like there was a circle on the ground, so I had to possess a character that had like a circular shape and stand in it to activate a thing. But then the next style of gameplay was like a point and click adventure where you don't possess anything, but you use your imp as a cursor to like pull a chain down or like open a box or whatever.
Are imps in every level?
Not every level, no.
Okay.
Some of them are, in fact, like later I did a thing. I can't remember the name of the mode. It's like dream surfing. So the way he described it is, he's like, you know how when you're having a dream, you start and you're at the dinner table with your family, and then all of a sudden you're on a train and your dog is talking to you, and then all of a sudden you're in space as a jet fighter, a spaceship fighter. And so what dream surfing is it takes dreams that have been made by the community. Currently, obviously, it's just the developers, but it takes dreams that have been made by the community and uploaded, and it kind of just samples you through each one of them. And he said that dreams, you can make levels and chain them together in like a playlist. So basically you can use that to build a campaign.
Cool.
But what's cool about dream surfing is I exited one level of this very creepy one with like a little character and like this red demon kept showing up or whatever. I left
Like Fight Club style.
Yeah.
Flashes of.
I went to the end of that level, I went through the door, and I went to a different dream, totally other dream, other style. And when I finished that one, and maybe another dream after that, it went to the next level of that creepy one. So the sequence was still there and maintained in order, but it put other dreams in between them. Which I thought was a cool idea, and you can make it not do that, I think. And he said you can search for different parameters, so you could search for scary if you want to play scary dreams, or you could search for fantasy or happy or whatever, waterfalls, and like anything with a waterfall in it, it would show up. So that's dream surfing. He also showed me this exact level.
some other fun stuff about dream surfing.
Sure.
So if you like that scary thing, but you only say that scary thing has like 7 chapters to it,
Yeah.
and you get to see chapters 3 and 6.
Right.
If you're like, wow, that scary thing was really cool, you can look it up, download the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then just check that out.
Yeah.
And you can very quickly and easily bail on anything you don't like. So if you are just like, yeah, let's do dream surfing, and you jump in, you're like, no, I don't want to do a scary thing.
Yeah.
You just hit pause, next.
And you say skip.
You jump just like you're on YouTube, just next video, and do the next one.
Which I thought was very cool.
That's my favorite thing about the entire game, actually, because
Really?
I think when I think of every single game, Little Big Planet, Disney Infinity, Far Cry 5, like everyone loves to make the biggest level of all time, and so
Right.
even in those modes where you're like, oh, I want to try something out, it's like 20 minutes later, you're like, cool level, dude, but like I'm done. I just want to finish.
Right.
The majority of Far Cry 5 levels I have checked out, I just quit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, it's like kill 500 enemies. And you're like, I don't want to stop. I
And-
know you love cranking that meter all the way to the end, but stop.
And the upside to that is Far Cry 5 is a perfect example. You exit a level and go back into a level. It has to load for quite some time.
Yeah.
This was pretty snappy.
Zip,
when
zip.
you skip, it's like maybe a few seconds, and it has like a cool effect that feels like you're moving from one dream to the next. I think it even
Nice.
shows an element of the
That
next
makes me
dream.
feel like because you're saying it is on some kind of like algorithm playlist that while you're playing one, it's already getting the next one.
Since
all
it's in an
prepped.
order, I would not be surprised that it's loading in the background. Yeah, that's a very good idea. So yeah, they showed me this exact demo. I played this room with the dev, and yeah, we duplicated. Actually, at first I duplicated a bridge, and then he was like, "That's really easy, though, right? What if we wanted to make a moving platform?" So he's like, I know you just lovingly placed these, but I'm going to delete them. And he deleted the bridge. And then he's like, what if we just wanted one to move? And so he got a thing out of the menu. You've seen it here in the footage a couple of times, but you hit, I think, options. And the menu shows up at the top. And there are a whole bunch of options. Crazy stuff. And one of them, yeah, that's the menu there. So you can get
You
one
might
called...
do it right now.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, he might do what I'm about to say. But there's a thing called animators, I think. Oh yeah, he's doing what? Yeah, he's saying, what if we want this to move?
Is he recording right here?
This is exact. Not yet. He's doing.
Okay.
He's saying. I imagine in the dialogue, he's like, what if we want this thing to move right here?
Okay.
Unless he already recorded it, or he's speeding it up, maybe. So yeah, what you can do is any movement that you perform, you can record. So basically, he'll get an animator. He's gonna do it right now, I think. He'll get an animator, and then so action recorder. This is perfect. And you can keyframe them, so you say start here, end here, so it's smooth.
This is enormous.
Yeah, the action recorder will literally be your motion with the controller, so it'll be like wobbly if it was wobbly. And immediately I was like, you can do keyframes, right? And he's like, yeah, of course. But yeah, so anything, now that he's activated this action recorder, any movement he does, he actually accidentally grabbed a piece of ground first. So every time our platform moved, the ground next to it went meh, and he's like, oh, meh, meh. So now it's recording this action. Oh, see? And now as soon as, and once he's done with that, he'll go over and hit stop recording. And now time is moving. You see that in the top right. And now the platform's just going to do that over and over again. So
Jones, you told me there's some sort of smoother, right?
you can change
He
the
said you can
wiggle
do
out.
that. Yeah, you can then dig into each thing, and there's the thing about dreams, there's a quick way to do a lot of stuff.
Sure.
But if you want to deep dive into any of those little nodes, there's all sorts of layers and stuff that you can adjust. And the thing that's super great about the animation tool is you can also do that in the environment to things you don't necessarily want to platform.
Right.
The first time I checked this game out, he did it to the trees.
Right.
And
Yeah,
made
he
the
had me
trees
do that
sway
too,
back and
dancing
forth,
trees.
and then
Right.
copy and pasted the trees. Just took 6 seconds. Just paste, and they're all moving at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they had the animation saved to it.
And
then you
can
can make one tree bigger, one tree smaller, change the colors, and they still have the animation.
You can keyframe. You can do it to basically anything. He said like you can keyframe the sun. You can do motion on the sun and have the sun start at sunset or sunrise and go to sunset throughout the course of a level. You can tie that to where the character is using triggers. You can say like when they get here, move the sun here and make the sun red.
So like,
What is this?
That's he's
That looks
picking
like
a
lava.
pre-made asset, so he's putting lava under
So
the
I
bridge.
saw us gained XP and a level. Is that like we can only use certain items if we're at a certain level?
I don't know about that. I don't think so. I think everything is here. You can make whatever you want, and
What were the
you can
levels
get
before?
stuff from the.
I think it would denote how. So, like, if you're looking at content creators and you're like, oh, this content creator's kind of cool, and you look them up and they're level 3, you're like, okay, maybe I won't spend so much time going into their collection.
Maybe I didn't see anything about that.
But the other thing, too, remember the really weird, confusing, potentially dumb demo they did, like, 50 years ago, where it was the band, like, doodly-doo, remember it? Remember, like, that one really amazing Sony press conference, and Media Molecule came out, and they're like, we're making a game. And they had move controllers, and there's, like, a guy in a saxophone, and everyone was like, what the hell
was like,
is this?
This is a nightmare.
That, you can animate that.
Yeah.
So if you, like, want to have a little club, and you want to have musicians up, you can, like, click the record button with the move controllers, assign it to like their arms or their head or their legs or their fingers or the instrument or whatever, make them like do a little dance, save that, boom, they're doing
it. Just does it. You can do it in real time too. You can assign. He showed me that they did a banana, the banana from the Sony press conference that had the guitar. He had me play as that little banana with the guitar, and each button you pressed was a different move. And like if you did the D-pad, the camera went whoop, like up in his face, like a cool action shot. And obviously he was like, you know.
So one thing I'm wondering about with this, like especially like when you're talking about like the tree swaying in the wind or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you take that animation and apply it to another similar object?
Yes.
Nice.
And I'm pretty
who
sure.
knows what it's going to end up looking like, but you can take apart any of these things, these all individual instruments and sound effects. You can just pluck any of those out and add it to something else.
And if I'm not mistaken, everything that you make or create is like part of the Dreams library. You can say, actually, no, he told me this. You can allow your items to be remixed, which means like the example he said is like, okay, let's say you made a super cool car. You can check when you upload it or share it or whatever if you want it to be remixable, which means people can change it. They can take it and add colors and put flames on it and make it have legs.
On the back,
And you can even there are going to be things where it's like you can put out like a call to action and say like make this car awesome, and then people will do it with remixes. And he said that it's like reposting a blog or whatever. It's like it'll always say that asset was created by Kyle Bossman, and then it was remixed by Daniel Bloodworth. You know, like the one you're using was like originated here, remixed here and here. You're using that, which I thought was cool. But yeah, it showed briefly the like entire digital audio workstation that they've built into this game. It's absurd.
It looked like there was like even like tracks that we recorded over a microphone on that.
Yes, you can sing and sample it. Like you can sample it like a sampler synth. You can just sing tracks into it.
I mean, look at that thing.
It's bonkers.
That's software. That's just music recording software.
And it's in the world, which I think is cool.
It's
so
in
you
the
didn't have
world.
to like exit this out to a separate screen. Like you can see the lava and everything else in the background.
Everything is incredibly fast.
It's intimidating in a weird way. It's intimidating because you're free.
Yeah.
You can do anything.
You can literally pretty much just do anything you want. I played a demo that started with like sketchy drawn. They did it for Train Jam for GDC. It was like sketchy or like just line drawings of a box with a little square, and you're the square,
I saw this one.
and they jump, and you collect little things, and every time you collect a little pip, the screen would like shake briefly and chromatic aberration would happen, and he showed me how you do that, and he's like, you can keyframe that to that, so like if you get hit, you can make it look like an 80s TV for a second or whatever. But that demo starts as that little square, you jump around, and then a 3D pencil comes in and draws legs under you, and now you have legs, and you're running. And then the 3D pencil is revealed to be held by a sock puppet that's in 3D in front of the game, and he just like looks around, and he's like, oh, he sees you, and he's like, oh, and then goes away. And then later on in the same demo, I go through a level, and then I jump off a thing, and then I'm in a 3D area, and then my cube just turns 3D and I walk off into the sunset, all seamlessly in one level. And you can just do that.
It's a 2D platforming game where you gain abilities until suddenly it's a 3D platforming game.
Until suddenly it's a 3D platforming game and you walk away in 3D. And it's all one level, seamless. It's crazy. You can
How do you do 2D stuff?
You can do screen to screen.
You change the camera.
Yeah, you
make a 2D object. You make a flat object and then assign the camera. Either create a new camera. I got like cameras is one of the big things I got into today, like how those work. And you can change cameras as you're going throughout. So you can set like when you move into this space, switch to this camera over here, and then follow the player
Fixed
with that.
cameras, Huber.
Or you can
make
go
a
like
fixed
you can
camera
say that player, because when you put a new character into the world, if it's a playable character, it automatically has the game camera assigned to it, so you can go into that character and be like, move the camera back, change it, put a filter on it.
And you don't have to make games. You can make still life art.
You can make movies.
You can make movies. You can make TV shows. This, I want to talk about this while this is up. So what's happening right here is like a live recording of, it looks like an electric guitar talk box. What you're looking at here, those little dots are the notes that they pushed in space, like
3D space.
in the area, and those circles are effects pools.
Okay.
So like one of them could be like a tremolo, one of them could be some reverb, one of them could like, if it's a synth, like one of the ones I heard, it sounded like it cranked up the cutoff real high. That has piano
and then
roll.
if you didn't like where anything was,
Right.
you go
into
and move it
MIDI
around.
and you edit it basically.
I have one more question. Can it fix the timing for you?
I imagine it can quantize it for you. Yeah. I mean, if not, you can do it manually in the piano roll like this. But the crazy thing is, and I don't know if they showed in this demo, but just like all the same controls, I mean, obviously there's some contextual stuff, like you use X here to do stuff instead of R2, whatever, but like the controls are basically universal. So if you hold L1 and R2, it clones a thing. I believe that's correct.
Yep.
It'll clone a thing. So like that's how you can clone a dancing tree. That applies to the piano roll as well. You can take a note, you can take 3 notes, clone them, and move them. You can hit clone over and over again. It'll just clone a note. Like when he did it, it was every other step. And so you just make a scale by going boop, 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 and it just does it. And it's the same thing with like bridges or ground or whatever. You can do anything in this game.
And this is not just music that you're like, oh, this is the music that's just going to play in the background. This can be a sound effect that happens when your character runs, when he shoots a gun, when the character like
you can
enter a certain space. Like you can have a character speak in musical notes and like have that play that through the filter or just record on a microphone.
The background music to the level itself and have things in the level glow to the beat.
Yeah.
Like you keyframe that in, and it's actually pretty easy. You make one item, you link it to the beats in the music tool that's floating in space, and then you just clone that item, and every single one of them will behave the same way.
Do I have to add the beats to the track?
I mean, they would be there in the music itself. Cool. You don't have to say like, here are the beats. It'll just listen to. I imagine you like link it to the bass drum like thing in the actual. He didn't show me that specifically, but I mean that's how you would have to do it because it was only reacting to the kick drum in the demo I saw. So yeah, you link it to the kick drum, and then all these bushes will glow every time.
I love this. Look at the dots, so you can see in real time the playlist or like the sequence.
That's crazy
of what you pressed. And
that's music. Oh, that's so weird.
He said you can do, and you can like set which notes the buttons are too. So it's not just like random. Like you can do random, like, but you can set the notes.
And not only are you moving around this rectangle to play the different things, if you press different buttons on the controller, it'll change the octave.
Right.
Or
and 2 people can do it at the same time, like playing music at the same time.
Can I record dialogue for characters?
Yeah,
with the microphone.
With the microphone, you just do it.
So I'd like walk up and they would like it would be a cutscene.
Yeah.
Have a,
I mean, that microphone isn't like the greatest microphone in the world, but
it's USB,
imagine,
man. I think you could probably plug in your Blue Yeti.
Probably you could. I saw a demo that had mouth moving to talking. I don't know if that has like a waveform sensor where the louder it is, the wider the mouth can get. I'm not sure on that.
I think they will record that audio and then
animate it. That's that's what
voice.
I would guess.
Adjust it.
They said you can do crazy like color, you can do chromatic aberration, you can do scan lines, you can pixelate a level to make it look low res. You can selectively color things like the example he said is you could do Schindler's List where everything is black and white except for the little girl's jacket is red. You can do that. It's bonkers, man.
I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm at the point now where I don't want to talk about this game. You know what I mean? Like because it's driving me crazy. You know, where like I need to like take a journal or like get a voice recorder where I just like so I have this idea.
I said the same thing. I'm like, put this game out. I want to see.
They have no release date.
This game.
Yeah.
They have no
at
release
all.
date.
Not even close. Not even like a year.
They're like what he said was he said no definite dates or anything, but he's like, we're definitely planning on doing a beta before we release.
When I talk to PR or when I talk to the devs, they keep bringing up a beta.
Right.
So like
So
I'm
it's
hoping
like-
that happens before the end of the year.
and they'll do it like I got an inkling that maybe a beta this year, maybe. But don't quote anybody on that because this is dreams.
Shadow drop.
That would be crazy. This is dreams. It's been in the works for like literally a decade. So yeah, don't hold your breath. But like he said that it would be probably, you know, a beta that ramps up. So closed first and then like invitation and then maybe public. But yeah, I mean like the game feels very close and very good. So like I would guess next year is probably the year. I would guess.
And one of the other things too that's really great about the gyro and moving the controller around that I haven't experienced in something like in something like a Far Cry or Disney Infinity is it just feels good if you're rotating an object or placing something to just like select it and then like no, I want it to be like that there.
Yeah.
Instead of like D-pad like click 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 click
Right.
click. Okay, now move it on this axis. Click 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 click. You just like right there.
You can use the joysticks and the D-pad to resize and move things also.
Yeah.
So like yeah. And one thing I will say, you can definitely see how VR would help you with the depth, placing things in 3D space because there were
Or
definitely
just be super awesome all around.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
playing any of this stuff in VR.
like when I was putting that
horror
bridge
stuff in
down.
VR in
oh
this?
my god! When I was putting that bridge down, I thought I lined it up perfectly, and then I moved the camera, and the bridge was like over here, and the rest of it was down there, and I was like, oh right, okay, and I like put it in the right spot, you know. But
happy accident, be fun to make a level
Right.
where you have a camera set
Right.
in that direction,
Right.
and then once you get to that
You
spot,
move and
it
it's
falls
totally
off. You're like,
wrong,
"Wait, look at
yeah.
that," and then it moves the camera around, and
Or
you're
like-
like, "Oh,
Was that Echochrome?
Yeah, Echochrome is
Yeah.
like that, or like words from one angle, but like just nonsense from another angle. Oh god, you can do whatever you want. Oh, and like Little Big Planet and the Pod Home or whatever it was called, you have a sort of a hub world that is your own, and there are little bubble collectibles, basically just like in Little Big Planet, that I don't believe. I don't think it relates to anything about building levels, but when you find them, like I found a little arrow sign or whatever, he's like, yeah, now you could put that in your hub world. So it's sort of like decorating your thing, and I think that might be the levels too, is like if you play enough dreams of other
Yeah.
people's dreams and collect items, you put them in your hub.
It was one of my favorite things about Little Big Planet is that you could put rewards in your own level.
Yeah.
And then those rewards could be items that they could use in their own things.
And you have like Little Big Planet where you had your little cardboard box home. You have like a
That's
little.
the pod.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
the,
sorry,
the,
good.
the home
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
It starts as just like a white space, and you can fill it with all kinds of stuff.
So if there's like a level you really like, you can make a little portal for that level in your zone, and then put a little throne around it. If it's like
Yeah.
a jungle thing, you put a couple trees. And
Yeah.
just like show my friend, oh, I really like this level. Here, let me go over to it. And like,
This is incredibly exciting.
And he said you can make. I mean, I'm really amped about this game, so nitty gritty. But like, he said that like if you really like trees and you want to go through the collections of everybody's trees that have ever been made in Dreams and make your own little collection of trees. Players could then say, like, they play your levels, right? They're familiar with your levels. They're like, oh, Kyle Bossman makes really good levels, and he always has the best trees. How does he do that? They can go to your user profile or what have you, see your collections, and see that you've made a collection of trees. They can seek you out and say, I trust this user's trees because they always have the best. You know, you can do that with anything. Sounds.
Musicians, there's probably going to be
Oh,
musicians.
yeah. I'm sure they're going to, like, do all kinds of collaborations and stuff, you know. Seriously boundless possibilities in this. This is how the demo starts. It like is getting you used to using the controller.
yeah, here's your little home.
And here's this
your
is the
little hub
home,
zone.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, dream surfing, dream shaping. Untitled Dreamer must be your
And yeah, community challenges. You know,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
going to be all sorts of little contests and
Oh,
stuff like that.
let's all make a game where you're falling.
right.
Yeah.
The
And,
famous
then,
falling.
and not only is it
Yeah.
going to be fun to be involved in those, but like last week's community challenge was this. Here's the winner. And you're like, well, I'll
Yeah.
play that.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
try that level out.
One of the dream surfing levels that I got was a text adventure.
Yep.
Straight up text adventure.
Yep.
But
Just
like
because they could. Just
just
because
'cause they could.
Well,
That's
wait,
really cool.
just how do you
text.
make text?
probably very lugubriously. Like
I bet not actually. I bet there's like a text box. There probably has to be, so you can make signs and so you can make like alerts and things like
yeah.
that. There has
But
to
I
be
mean
some
like
sort of
typing
text
on the
box.
PS4 sucks.
Yeah.
Like immediately, I was like, okay, I want to plug in a USB piano into this thing. I want to plug in a USB keyboard, which you can do. You can do a keyboard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
keyboard you
piano
can
will
do.
work though.
Yeah, maybe
Make it
it's that
happen,
simple.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah,
And I'm sure one of the biggest difficulties that they're having with like finalizing this and getting a beta done is like, when do you stop? Like when
Right.
when do you get to a point where you're like, oh, all right, let's just release this
When
game.
is
you know,
enough
like,
enough?
Because
Yeah.
I'm sure you keep having like, oh wait, you know, like Bill had a great idea last night of this other thing that we could add. And so I don't imagine that, you know, obviously not only when this game launches is all this fun new content going to start spilling out of it because people are going to start making stuff, but Media
just go
Molecule
forever.
themselves are going to have fun ideas and add new functionality and add more stuff down the road. Yeah, if it's free or not, I will be all over it.
Cool.
wait,
Get ready,
Dreams is
allies.
free? Oh,
Get
the-
ready.
Oh,
If the expansions are free.
We're gonna be. Well, that's the thing. I don't even know if they're. Well, yeah, if they add new content, but that's the thing. You can make anything you can think of in this game. So, like, I don't know how they would. Unless
Yeah.
it's new functionality somehow.
Yeah.
Like what Little Big Planet, what they would do is like, here's water. Now everybody can have water.
Sure.
And so I imagine you can already do water in this game, but
Yeah.
things like that, just things that just weren't even possible before.
You can change the like amount of sketchy like art brush look. You can do whatever you want.
It's cool.
It's amazing. Dreams. Be
But
excited.
thanks for spending all that time with it.
Yeah,
Man. I'm stuck.
thanks,
man.
I've been waiting for you to take
I-
a big healthy chunk out of this game.
The second I saw it there, I was like, my Lanta. I am playing this for as long, and like the demo just went and went and went.
Yeah. There's no end to it. I mean,
Well, I mean, like he didn't rush it. He
Yeah.
didn't try to stop. The lady next to me, we were like tied during our dream surfing. The dream surfing that they had, the playlist was clearly in an order because hers and mine were the same. Like I caught up to her at one point, but then she got through the next one faster. You know, it was funny.
my demo guy was a little mini celebrity because he was like, we're talking about animation. He's like, well, I'm an animator for a Media Molecule, and in my spare time, I also work on animation. And he's like, I made this one game called Please Somebody Hug Me, where you're like, there's a little island, and there's a guy, and you walk over, and there's all these little like triangle-headed dudes
Yeah,
around
yeah,
you.
I played that
And
one.
if you walk towards them, they all like, no, they like walk away from you and fall off the ledge. Oh, no. And the level ends when you make everyone fall off the ledge, and then it does like a classic animation,
Yeah.
like black circle, like.
It
You
zooms
know,
out
like,
on you
and
looking
you're sad.
very sad.
And he has no friends. And he's like, oh, I made Please Somebody Hug Me, and I was like, I played that level, and he was like, oh, like I was like, good job, man, that's a great level. So it's like I
It's a
already,
level in
It's
this
a dream.
game.
yeah,
It's a dream.
in a demo
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
already checked out.
Okay.
Not don't hug me, I'm
Since we
scared.
brought that up, I'm gonna throw in an extra one I was gonna say for Thursday, but it felt very similar concept.
Let's do it.
No, I'm going home, dude.
No, you what?
It's after 11. Wait, are you talking dreams or a whole new
I'm
game?
talking about a different game. It's not gonna take long. The game's not
no,
even very long.
I gotta go, Bloodworth. It's after 11.
Just go.
Little sleepy
GTFO
Bossman's
to
got-
quote your shirt.
My goodness.
What the hell?
Like
Uh,
I could have probably been done by the time you got done complaining.
It's a game. GTFO is a game.
This is true.
A couple of devs are patrons, and they're like, "Hey, we're patrons. We love Easy Eyes. You want a sweater?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude."
They know you love sweaters.
But yeah,
Kyle Bossman is a sweater aficionado.
I like profanity. I like sweaters,
Abbreviations,
multiplayer shooters.
embossed letters on fabric.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's funny running into developers who know you're not into their kind of game.
Who is this guy?
Like a cooperative multiplayer shooter. You know what I mean? There's like no hard. It's horror based. You know what I mean? It's no hard feelings, but like we can still talk about
Yeah,
their
not
game
for
in a
you.
way. Yeah, but it's still like a cool
You'll wear the
version of that game.
sweatshirt.
Yeah, we'll wear that sweatshirt.
You'll wear the free sweatshirt.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
See you tomorrow.
Blood, you scared him off.
You scared me up.
You scared him off, Blood. Huber,
His
get
fault.
up here.
Anyways,
It wasn't even
Huber, fill
a
the void.
smooth end to dreams. It was.
because I was relating to what he was talking about, which is now like blown.
Wits end.
Wits
end. No
He's at
checks.
his wits' end.
No checks. Wits end.
I was talking about
the world premiere of And For That Reason, following a live version of Frame Trap. Go to patreon.com/Easy Eyes to see how you could support the Easy Eyes. Good night.
Good game.
That's the closest that Bossman and my mouths have ever been to each other.
The plot
Dreams
That's not true.
looks so overwhelming, but I'm really excited
Here's the
to
deal.
play your levels.
You can
allies.
get into
That's
like
what I'm excited
you
for.
can get into
'cause
like
you guys are creators.
circuitry based, like if then, like and or gates. like circuitry programming stuff if you
It
want
looks
to.
nuts.
I'm sorry, but and you can one thing I learned about today, that because I'm OCD and a lot of this stuff that like makes me happy is the what do they call them, gadgets. So when you have the little music thing and you can drill in and the music gets bigger, or you have a little environment that when you walk into trigger area, or you have a sound effect or something like that, all those little squares that you saw them dropping in, those are called gadgets.
Yeah.
And they're like, you just put this into the environment, and when you go into edit mode they all appear. And I was like, every time I look at that I'm like, I'm gonna lose them. I'm gonna put a rock over and it's gonna cover one, and I'm be like, where did that go? And he's like, not only is there a mode, he's like, it's not in this demo that we have here today this year at E3, but there's gonna be a mode where you can go and see all of that, like all the artistic elements will vanish and you'll just see those. He's like, there's a method you could do where you can just see a list of all of them, and you can put in something they call microchips, which organizes them.
Oh, good.
So you can make a microchip called sound effects and put all of your sound effects on that. So you
Very
open up
important.
that microchip.
Yeah, that's
and they're all
cool.
listed there.
That's very cool. Grouping your effects.
What game does Daniel Bloodworth want to talk about?
I was just gonna talk.
Wait, is Kyle gone?
Yeah.
All right, it's safe.
I was
Go
just
for
gonna
it.
talk about Kids, which is
Kids.
the
movie?
You seen it?
No, not the movie.
Well, the thing is, there's gonna
Bloodworth,
be
get the hell out!
there's gonna be
PTSD from that movie.
so it's an iPad game. It's all black and white. It's like basically like outlines of people.
Played it at Judges Week, and I think it's like out or will be very soon.
It's like, please somebody hug me.
It's
Kind of.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up.
You should tell Kyle, he would be into it.
But so anyway, so like it's one of those games where like you don't really understand what's going on until you start touching it, and so
Just like making love.
there's like a big black hole with a bunch of people standing around. And you start touching the people, and they just like start falling.
It's after 11, baby.
Yeah.
in the hole, and that's the part that I thought was similar to what you were saying. But then like you start drawing lines of people running, and then like you have these like things where like there's like just like a group of people running, and you just like tap on them, and they'll start going in different directions. But like it's like I think it has a lot to do with like independence and like following the crowd and all this kind of thing. There is one where like you tap on a guy, like he would like point either left or right, and you had to like tap on all of them until they all point in the same direction. But there's just like stuff like that to where like you can't solve this, you can't move on until like everybody's like run into a hole or
It's
whatever.
like an art piece.
Yeah.
It's like something you would see in a museum.
No,
that
it
kind of,
literally
like-
is.
Yeah.
There is the iPad game, there's a short film, and there's an arts installation. They're all tied together by this.
And there's
guy.
just
would
a
have killed
really tiny
Boston.
voice acting. So
Yeah.
like a character walk in, hi, and you're like, oh, like click on him and like hello, like someone else will talk.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like
I remember that.
Miiverse.
They-
And it's neat because there are parts of it where the frame rate gets horrible, but like almost intentionally. They're like, no, we wanted to have 500 of these things on screen at once, so you could
It
get
didn't
this
actually
vibe.
seem
of,
that bad when the build.
Did
I
you play
played.
the entire thing?
I think.
Did
I
you
might
like
have.
beat it? Did you like get to an end?
I guess I didn't beat the whole game, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, there's a definite like ending.
You've
and,
played
like,
this
at
entire
that part,
thing?
at Judges Week. Yeah, they had it on an iPad at Judges Week at the Independent Evening, which is my favorite part of Judges Week. That's where I played Ashen and Outer Wilds and Sable and all that fun stuff.
Noise.
And but it was like framing in a good way, where you're just like, whoa, there's a lot going on this iPad right now.
That's a box quote.
Framing
Framing in a good way.
Whoa,
Great polygon budget.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's
good ball
that.
again. High ball again.
kids sneaking it in.
Kyle would have hated
You
that.
clipping that one out?
Huh?
You're
I'm
gonna
not
clip out
going to clip
kids.
a lot of
Kids?
clip outs from the later sections.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So, but
Clip out that Dreams talk. That was fire.
the next thing I want to bring in the rest of the crew because I played Cyberpunk yesterday,
Right.
and today.
Well, you watched Cyberpunk.
Oh no, you're right. I didn't play it. I was sitting next to the guy that played. I saw Cyberpunk yesterday, and then Ben, Brad, Huber, Brandon, you saw it today, and we described the demo. We don't need to go through all that again, but I want to see what you guys thought about it. So I'm gonna get off this desk and let you guys get in here.
I have very little notes. I just want to say one thing that I dug a lot, and I'm curious to see it develop throughout the rest of the game, is every time V would look at an NPC, look at a civilian, somebody in the crowd, they would be labeled in a certain way. So they would be labeled as what I'm assuming how V thinks of them. So some were very like janitor, like taxi driver, and some were
Dirt woman or something.
Some was like corporate thug or something. I can't remember. Well, I'm on my phone, which is not on me right now. But like some of them were kind of slang, you know. And actually, that's another thing that I dug is there were some terms I might know these terms by the time I got to the mission that I was on, but there were, and I think this is appropriate for a game that is throwing you into this future world. There were some things that characters said to each other, and I'm like, I have no idea what the heck they're talking about. Like, they're using terminology that, like, you know, is very strange to me because I don't, I will be a very old man by the time it's 2077. I will be 98 years old.
Who's taking it, Ben? Start us off.
Okay, the first thing I want to say is huge props to CD Projekt Red for how they presented this demo.
Yes.
I feel like I've seen so many demos at this point for RPGs where they're like, man, you're going to have so much choice, dude. Can you believe the amount of choice you have? All right, here's this corridor.
Yeah, we're not showing it, though.
What? No. That was not this 50-minute long Cyberpunk demo. It
was like we were going to the cinema.
Yeah.
You go in, you get a ticket, they open
it had
the
like
doors.
stadium seating.
Stadium seating. It was like a movie.
But it was just amazing to me how much they showed and how convincing it was that this was a real video game and we weren't being hoodwinked.
Yeah, I can't even believe that it was just a 50-minute chunk of gameplay.
Yeah, and at so many points...
No cuts.
No cuts. No cuts.
No loads.
They would reinforce the fact that so you were basically doing this job and you needed to get a hefty amount of cash, and they would say like, hey, there are different ways that you can get this cash, and you would see the points where that could happen, where you could take a different path. And that was just so interesting. And even when you got your eyes upgraded and you got these scanner eyes, you could see all of these different upgrades that you could get that could be useful and would have a specific benefit. And just at every single point, there was so much choice and there was no loading. Everything was seamless. It's
crazy
incredibly
because
gorgeous world.
I am obsessed with Deus Ex. It is one of my favorite series.
This game, I was like, okay, well, this is Huber's like dream.
I love Deus Ex so much, and just from this little bit, just the scale, the scope of everything was mind blowing. Like, you know, we see Death Stranding and The Last of Us and even Spider-Man, and it's like, wow, you know, the end of a generation, like Death Stranding, you know, that's like next gen. Like, Cyberpunk feels like a game from like 7 years in the future, you know? It's like the hand of 2025 is reaching back to 2018 to be like, hey, here's a game from the future. That is what it
was
feels
kind of unreal, like how much it's like this trailer. Like the amount of people in this game just doing stuff is insane.
You bring up Arkham, and like as much as I love all of those games, one thing that frustrates me about Arkham is like I'm not in Gotham. I'm in a really cool video game playground that looks like Gotham. Right. And like, but when you get down to street level, it's like nobody lives here, you know. And like even GTA 5, which, you know, vastly improved its visuals when it came to PS4 and Xbox One, I'll be in some neighborhood or something and there's like 5 people walking down the road. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like what? Like the algorithm in this game just kind of like popped you into this world. But like there's no reason for you to be here. It doesn't make sense. And like when V walked out of their apartment building like into the main zone, I was floored. I mean, I was like, that is a lot of people, and not people just like, I'm an NPC walking around, you know, like just doing all sorts of crazy intricate things. Yeah, I could clearly tell people that knew each other, that were like walking in groups, that were like, I'm not just wandering, I'm going over there, I'm going to my car,
like waiting for the street light
to cross the street
into the shop. I'm buying
about
this piece of food over here, like
You talked about the vocabulary that they used, and I think that was really good between V and her partner. They would use slang with each other, and they would rib each other in a way that they didn't talk to anybody else. Like there was just an ease of conversation with them, and in that 50 minutes, I got an incredible sense of how close they were as characters, and it was just through the writing that really sold me that relationship.
Yeah, and Jones, I want to lean into you on this question. You know, you love open worlds, and literally, so I think of some of the best open worlds. Obviously, their previous game, The Witcher 3, phenomenal. But I think of the most recent one coming out, Spider-Man. Now, I am just comparing because I want to compare some of the, you know, the top tier studios, the top tier budgets. So that's why I want to compare these games. This is not a knock on Spider-Man at all. Spider-Man is a 10 out of 10. But, you know, Spider-Man is this huge open world, But again, just from this little demo, their journey through the city, every nook and cranny was bursting at the seams with detail, with life, with personality. There was a part when she just walked through a bar to get through the bar to get to a back alley. So much going on in the bar around. The player didn't even stop to like look around, and I'm just sitting there like trying to take it all in. Every little inch.
There's no
of this,
dead corners.
There's no dead corners.
There's like a table over there.
Yeah,
It's
like
no.
Spider-Man has like some dead alleyways or parking lots. Like no wasted space.
And I
it's
think-
crazy.
I think they really sold how many beautiful nuggets you're gonna miss. Because I was talking about you go to this doctor to get upgrades, as Blood mentioned yesterday, and there's this, if you just go through the process, you'll get your upgrade and you can leave and you can go on with the mission. But the person playing the demo went back to the doctor after the operation was completed, and you notice that he's watching boxing. And if you choose to talk to him, and you can just completely ignore this, he goes on this tirade about like the history of boxing in this world.
See, when I saw the demo, she asked, she was like, "Who's winning?" And he's like, "Oh, don't get me started." And then she
Right,
just walked out.
right. He
but
goes on
that's
this
it.
tirade. She does cut.
Right.
She's like, "Oh, I don't need to hear this," and
Yeah.
walks off. But you could sit there
Yeah.
and listen to this huge tirade.
And it's not like you're looking at his monitor and it's like, you know, a 10-frame GIF of like punch.
It's-
Like
yeah.
it's a whole animation of these dudes.
This
you know,
feels like if this
fighting.
game is as dense and like filled with story as much as we've seen like throughout it. This is a game that me and Mike were feeling like you'll never beat this game.
Yeah.
You're never gonna
Yeah. There's
finish this
just-
game.
Yeah,
And
I
the
just
thing is-
want to live in this
And
game.
well, I just want to, okay, like some people who might not potentially be into this game might be listening at home being like, okay, guys, calm down. Because I know it's frustrating because all you have is a trailer, so you haven't seen this game. And I want to dial back a little bit by saying that I remember seeing Watch Dogs for the first time and being like, wait a minute, like this is clearly running on another console. And like when we got into this demo, I was like, okay, here we go, Cyberpunk, let's do it. And so when it first popped up, I was like, these textures, like just the richness of this world is gonna blow me away. And then we jump in and I was like, oh, it looks okay. Like, oh, this looks good, great.
Yes.
That's not what's amazing about this.
Right.
It's not like you're like, oh, I've never seen colors like this. Like, that's concrete. You know, it's not that. It's like you were saying. It's like wherever your eye wanders to, like, wow, you know, look at all those
Insane
little
detail.
items on there, and look, like when you were talking about going to the doctor and like someone's like, oh, he's in the bag, he's waiting for you, and then
Yeah.
you like go outside, and there's this weird little alleyway and little staircase that goes down to his area, and there's like 3 people just like all standing in different areas having a conversation, and like I'm like, I believe that they are there for a reason and not just paste.
That there is a little bit of roughness there, and I don't want to say roughness and be like, oh no, you should be worried about this, but you mentioned Watch Dogs, and I think that's such a good point. So every time I saw Watch Dogs, you know, before a certain point, it was like, wait, really? And you had just this element of doubt. And there were moments in the Cyberpunk demo where I'm like, okay, that lip syncing, not amazing.
Yeah.
That animation of that NPC, not amazing.
the combat.
Well,
some of the
we'll
guns,
get this.
yeah.
But what I mean is that I'm not saying that that's a good thing, that I wish the lip syncing wasn't better, but it made me actually feel like it was a game. And once I saw that, it was like, no, this is a real thing, and I could take in every impressive thing that they were doing, and it kind of made it even more impressive. Like when they go down the elevator and you just see the city and how everything looks is incredible, and those little bits of roughness don't intrude on that amazing craftsmanship, I don't think.
Yeah, and they haven't released any of that footage yet, correct? Like that.
No,
it's not,
no.
But they never.
And
But like when you saw that Witcher 3 demo a few years back, did they ever release that?
Never.
Damn. Sorry, everybody.
and I can see the hesitation because of the combat, because that combat could probably be, you know,
Improved.
picked, or like, you know, if that was a video on YouTube or wherever, you know, a video of the combat, it would just be like, okay, like we've, you know, this is nothing special.
Right.
And you know, and just being in the presentation too, you know, we came out, we talked about just like the combat, you know, the Days Gone situation where it feels kind of airy. You know, the shotgun didn't have like as much impact as you know, like an id shotgun. It like there was a disconnect there, and in my brain, you know, I'm thinking, like you said, this is a real game now.
Yeah.
And this game is still so far out. Like, if this is the worst this game ever looks, and I'm freaking out this much, holy moly! It is a work in progress, and the next time we see Cyberpunk, it's going to be even better.
Yeah.
I think you're right on the money describing the combat as maybe a little bit airy. I think that's a good word for it. But I also don't want people to think, because in my opinion, because like with The Witcher, we talk about the combat and how a lot of people think it's a problem. I don't think this is a game, based on what I saw, where you're going to be like, man, I love this game, but the combat is just okay. While the impact and maybe the tightness of it could use a little bit of work, I was still just completely in awe of how many things you could do within combat.
The
ideas, yes.
Yeah, the mechanics
they're not
are
just
there.
giving you a shotgun or just a rifle. These are like super crazy, high-tech sci-fi weapons that are doing really awesome things.
I love that stuff.
When you mentioned resistance, and that's totally true. You get this gun, this giant machine gun, where it's the bullets are curving around, and it's just
the pistol can like ricochet bullets.
Yeah.
And she gets her like the blades we saw in the original teaser from back then. She clings to the wall and jumps down and stabs.
When the blades came out of her arms and she was climbing on the wall, I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, can we Spider-Man this? And just like,
If I had to pick one moment from the demo, though, that is my absolute favorite, it is when like you take this drug, you huff this drug,
dread, dude.
Yeah,
Slow-mo.
lots of dread.
It goes
They watch
slow-mo
Dread a
for
lot.
a bit,
Yeah.
and there's just this guy that seems like any other bad guy with a gun, any other goon with a gun, and you shoot his legs in slow motion, and his voice in slow motion, he's just screaming, "My fucking legs!"
Jesus Christ, my legs!
It's so good.
So good. So much detail. So like, this is the real deal. There's a lot of backlash from it being first person. That's kind of a big controversy or big topic right now. Hot topic of wow, The Witcher's third person. I like looking at the world, but their reasoning behind it being first person is on point. You're more immersed. The action is on your character, where The Witcher is like about the world. And that's not to say Cyberpunk isn't about the world, but like everything, the way you interact with this world is entirely from your character.
Well, the character is much more supposed to be you instead of Geralt as a character.
Yeah,
exactly.
That. And it's not only Geralt as a specific character, Geralt is a known character.
Yes.
He's a literary character that people are going to want to see. Also, Geralt spins a lot.
Geralt spins a lot. You can't do that.
Geralt spins. Like he's attacking this guy, and then he's going to go to attack this guy, and he's going to do a full 180. So it's like a whole different. The combat is completely different. There's just like an artistry to how he moves, and this is guns. This is looking down sights. This is
you also get to see V a lot. I mean, in the beginning of the game, in the beginning of the demo, you go back to your apartment and you see V hanging out in her apartment, getting out of bed, going to the fridge during cutscenes. You'll see it, and so I do think you'll still get to see plenty of this character and a lot of this world. I don't know. I don't think it's a huge issue.
With the amount of customization they give you in making this character, like you're gonna see your character a lot. Even the jackets and everything like that. I can't imagine all the clothes you can get and stuff like that.
I am really excited to see the city at nighttime.
We did not see it at night. Yeah, it's crazy.
I cannot.
They're just like, nah.
Freaking wait. Like just the small little area the demo was, and then she drives by like the massive city on the other side of her, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, that city, you can go there. Yeah. No loads.
And man, just during the mission, because it is essentially a deal gone bad, where you are trying to negotiate with these really ruthless people to get something, and they don't trust you, and they're holding you at gunpoint. And it could have just stopped there, but then it relaxes, and then it gets tense again, and then it relaxes, and then it gets tense again. And it's just constantly keeping you on its toes. I feel like the situations that they're throwing in, they're not taking the most obvious, the most done to death.
But it doesn't do it so much where you're like, okay, enough of this kind of thing.
Right. It feels natural.
Yeah.
It
feels like it felt like you're in that intense situation with them. It felt super believable.
Yeah, just the conversations. The Witcher 3 was it's The Witcher 3. I mean, it's ridiculously good. One of the reasons I enjoyed it so much was because of the choices with Geralt. Like, I've never been so in tune into a world and not having the like, I'm gonna be Renegade, I'm gonna be Paragon. Like the way I played Witcher 3 was so natural that sometimes I took a dark, maybe a darker path for a mission, but then other missions a way lighter path. And I see that being expanded upon just from the mission, the deal gone bad, how she wanted to handle, you know, the money and going into that place, and just the way that ended with like she's has multiple employers at that point when the mission is over.
Yeah, it's
she's
like a mission within a mission within a mission.
There's so many layers already, and the developer like kind of had a wry smile and a smirk when they came out of everything and all that happened, and he was just like, and that was just one mission. It's like, whoa.
One thing that kind of annoyed me, and I do think this is nitpicky, but it's still got under my skin. Every game that does this, I don't like it. There are a lot of choices that you're gonna make, even with something small like, hey, do you take the drugs that this dude is handing you? Yes or no? But there were several times throughout it where it would pause and it would like give you your options, and there was only one option. And it's like, if you're only gonna give me one option, there's no need to
I wonder if that was an E3 demo.
Yeah, it looked like
purpose,
it looked like it's blacked out. Also, I wonder if you have to have like a stat or something to pick that option. Because there
were definitely times where there were
there would be like
you
two
needed a
ones you
skill.
could pick, and there's one like blacked out.
Yeah, I hope that is not a concern in the final game, or it's like, hey,
Sure,
just
maybe
say
like
the one
silence
thing.
is an option. You know, maybe like you can back out of the decision entirely.
That
and
makes
just be like,
sense.
I'm not gonna do anything, and they're like, all right.
That makes
I don't know.
sense.
Yeah. I'm adding that. That's not. Who knows?
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder. Like, this game has to have so many endings. You know, Blood. We've talked about Witcher, multiple endings. Like, the choice of, you know, how you handle that entire situation with that gang. It's like, if you know, can you not go in at that point? Are you forced to go in? Is that a main mission? There's still so many questions.
Well, they said you could like get the cash like by doing side quests, so you didn't have to go through that. You could just pay them with the
you
normal
get
money.
discovered and end up like killing everybody in the room.
Yeah.
What if you just walk in the room and kill everybody? You know, what if you're like, I'm gonna get to the point here and I don't care.
We talked about this after, like what would happen though if you're on the streets just walking around and you started shooting people?
Yeah, is it like GTA
what would happen?
style?
Like how would the world react? Would it matter at all? Would cops come after you? Like would people not trust you from after that?
Because one of the prompts that came up was like when the level was over or whatever, it was like street cred level 2 now.
Yeah.
So it's like, if
Will it
your
go
street
down?
cred is really high or really low, will people react differently? Will that open up different opportunities? You know, can you double cross people? Because like so many double crosses seem to be going down. If you can double cross, I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's not happening right now, but I've looked over at Daniel Bloodworth a couple of times, and he's just, it's not like this beaming smile, but it's like this excited.
He's just pleased.
smirk.
He's ready.
He's
He's like, yes.
pleased.
He's
That's what it
pleased.
is. He's very pleased
The
right
game
now.
right now.
Yeah.
I think we all do.
Yeah,
Patience.
That's kind of the painful thing about Cyberpunk, is before it was just like, man, Witcher 3 is really cool and Cyberpunk's probably going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get to play that.
like
now it feels real.
Now it feels
That's
real.
where the
It feels
pain
real.
comes in.
This
And
talking
it
about
feels
this
far.
in trains back to back is just I'm hurting on the inside.
Yeah.
I want it.
Real deal.
real deal, man. All right,
Awesome.
Street
demo.
dogs.
Next up. What is it, Blood?
We got some quick ones.
Quickens.
Elder Scrolls Blades.
Ooh, who wants to sit in for me?
Elder Scrolls Blades. I'm ready
Okay.
to be obsessed. I'm ready to be obsessed with this game.
Ugh.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, of course you did.
Played it.
Such a Huber joint.
We went into the Bethesda booth. They just had like some iPhones there. Really simple combat. Hold your finger until the circle becomes gold and then release.
Wait, so were you like swiping like Infinity Blade a lot or
No,
stuff like that?
it's a hold and release, and then you have like a block in the corner, a couple magic attacks, and a shield bash.
Okay.
Those are all on cooldowns, and you can,
Just
use
mix and
those
match 'em,
accordingly.
yeah.
There's things in the environment like that pot right there that has gold and resources.
Gold circles, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just so.
Oh wait, he's like swiping.
So
I was
it's
just
both.
so.
Gold, and then when it goes gold, then
Sorry,
you swipe.
okay. I got
Oh, the demo didn't tell me I could do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You were doing that?
Yeah, that's what I
No,
was
the
doing.
demo didn't tell you. Todd Howard
Yeah.
told you.
I was playing.
That's what I thought
wrong.
you were telling me to do.
I was playing wrong.
Okay.
Anyway, the visuals are so good.
Yeah, they really are.
Like-
they're very good.
The controls are good. This is
Good in both tapping and using the virtual analog sticks. I actually thought both were comfortable, and I could switch between the two, and it was a comfortable transition.
Yeah, and Jones, I've never been like anticipating a mobile game in my life.
Welcome.
I'm anticipating this game. I'm ready. And because there's something to work towards, and I think that's very important for a persistent, long-lasting mobile game. You know, I think of Strike Force, Marvel Strike Force, which I got really into for a minute. And kind of the end game with that is you just get new characters.
Right.
You know, there's like the campaign, obviously, you go through, but once you're done with the campaign, it's like, what is there left to do? And I think the idea of having the town you work up to, the PvP, like you keep gearing up and gaining power to not only invest in your town, but there's that PvP element, which I really like. And I think that gives it legs, it gives it life, it gives it meaning. It's like, I'm not just grinding to watch the numbers go up and get more loot. It's like I'm grinding to build my city and fight other people.
I don't know if this will change or be different in the final game, but something that did kind of take a little bit of the fun out of going through the areas is you mentioned like breaking pots or finding stuff. The only thing that I was ever finding was just gold and gems. And so, anytime you get up to something that you can break, you know what it's going to be. And that is very different than in an Elder Scrolls game where when you search something, you have no idea what's going to be in there. And so I just wish there was a little bit more excitement to that process.
How long is like a dungeon run?
10 minutes.
It was very quick, like probably
Max.
less than 10
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
probably like 6 or 7 minutes.
Like it just looks so good.
Yeah.
Do you think it's complex enough combat-wise? I know it's simplified totally for you to keep playing and having a good time. Like,
Right.
do you think the fatigue will set in? Because that's what happens to me with a lot of times in mobile games.
It depends on how many skills and spells they give you, but what they showed in the demo, I think, is promising because you get like this shield bash that does a tremendous amount of damage, but if you time it right, you can actually have the animation of the shield bash block their incoming hit. And so it's kind of fun lining up that timing.
Yeah.
You also get a blizzard, which is a damage over time effect. And so you're like, okay, when's the best time to apply this? Maybe I can just do it and finish them off while I'm blocking. And so, yeah, I think it's not like astoundingly complex stuff or
Right, of
anything like
course.
that. But, yeah, I think it's potentially promising.
And it's promising. It doesn't feel phoned in. See what I did there?
Go home, dude.
I'm so
it's
tired.
too late, dude. I want to go home.
I'm so tired. I didn't see. what
That
you
was
did.
for you, Ian.
I didn't see what you did.
It's Elder Scrolls, so I imagine there's gonna be a lot of loot. Like Elder Scrolls
yeah.
games are massive.
Oh, yeah.
I imagine this game is going to be sizable.
I need that town building. I need to see what it's like.
I really want. We didn't get to see any town building. It was
Or
just
PvP.
two or PvP. It was just two separate dungeons. There was a forest one and just like an actual dungeon one.
Yes.
And it was
It's one-on-one only, right?
There were
One
giant
on one.
spiders in the forest,
Yeah.
and that sucked, but easier to deal with on a smaller screen.
they looked kind of freaky.
Yeah,
And, like,
they do.
no-
They are freaky,
they look
especially in
freaky.
VR.
Like
They're
no
super freaky.
bows and arrows or magic? Is it just all sword and shield?
No,
There's
there's
magic.
magic.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
magic.
So
I just there's none in the
Yeah.
demo that he did. So
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
Todd to Todd.
Call them up. Yeah, but I'm excited for a mobile game, and that is a new feeling.
I
for
was
me.
taken aback for a moment because I got done with Rage 2 and I see Huber sitting on this couch in front of the Blades demo, and he's like, "You have to play Blades."
Yeah.
New obsession.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
I hear that. I feel
Okay.
like that happens a lot.
yeah.
It does. It does.
I'll
but
tell you a new
just with
obsession:
this thing-
Marvel Strike Force, which
Yeah.
Huber demanded I play
Yeah.
and created a guild, and now he's talking. He's like, "Yeah, I'm done." And it's
I'm
like,
not done. I'm still in. I'm still in. I've just been C3. You know, haven't
You
been
get like a good week out of
28 other
Huber,
people in your
usually.
guild.
A good week.
Hey, Huber,
dedicated to
hard
raiding
in,
and
hard
stuff.
out.
And he's
It's
out.
okay. That's just Huber style.
That's
If you
just-
know that,
yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
fair enough.
I like telling Huber I can't play the game he wants me to play because I'm busy finishing the last game he wanted me to play.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
But you're both going to be playing Resident Evil 2 Remake at the exact time and
This is
calling
true.
each other late at night.
This is true, and I played that
we
today.
are.
But we're not gonna talk. Yeah, I just everything he said. Yeah.
Validation. I
Yeah.
love it. Yes. Confirmation.
Ooh. Oh.
All right, Blood. What's
good.
next?
What's next? I need to get up in there. One of those slots. Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, well, I'm staying.
All right. Here, you can take
I
a spot.
saw it.
So yeah, Brad saw it yesterday. I saw it today. It is basically the same demo.
Yes.
But there's a lot more information with Sucker Punch there, given some details. One of the fun things, I think there was like a little bit of backlash about like the demo where they were speaking English and stuff. It's like, they just flip the switch and like, no, we're gonna play this in Japanese.
Yeah, so
there's
for
no
me too.
subtitles, but
Yep.
here, you know.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And that was actually like one of the big things that they were kind of driving home is that like because they're part of Sony, they have like a huge amount of support from Japan Studio on this. And so like they actually used the term fully localized already, which I don't know what that means. But yeah, so I guess like the translation's been done. The voice acting is there.
It's
You
just
know,
not
like,
in the game yet.
yeah. So well, I mean, they played it. Did they play it in Japanese?
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you?
they did. I
Oh,
remember
okay.
like the subtitles and stuff
the
like that.
subtitles, yeah. And then and they were talking here like they're making sure that they're using the right kanji for the era,
Yeah.
like crazy
yeah.
stuff like that. They said because they said that they.
It's
yeah.
like it's not this character's not a real person or something like that, but they're trying to be as accurate as to the time period as they can.
Right. And the same thing with like the world. Like they've got like the identity of this island, but it's not like
One to one.
Yeah, like a real map of the
Yeah.
island.
This still blows me away.
Yeah.
Here in real life,
Yeah,
it
how
looks crazy.
insane.
It looks crazy.
Video games are way too good right now.
Here's the funny
I
thing.
can't handle it.
Because I think Kyle or somebody was like, "There's no way this game was like running on a PS4. This is like next gen or something." I was talking to the gameplay programmer. He's like, "Yeah, that's a great compliment, but this is PS4 Pro." Like, it's
Yeah,
not-
they said it was. I mean,
It's not
I
some
couldn't
mythical
see the
thing,
console,
yeah.
but that's what they said.
Nice.
Yeah, going back with the Japan studio thing, one of the things that they were saying as a studio is they didn't want to present Japan through blue eyes. Like it's kind of the way that they said it's like they want to make sure that their Japanese counterparts feel like this is an authentic representation of this era, even if it is a bit fantastical, a bit fictionalized. They talked a lot about the character's journey as well. They're saying this is like midway through the game.
Yeah.
And, he starts off with the samurai, and there's this samurai code. There's like certain ways that samurai are supposed to fight, and they're supposed to handle themselves. And he's already in this process of
steering away from
breaking the
that,
rules, doing things
But I tried to
differently.
pump them for info so hard on
Yeah.
this, and Nate Fox would not let up.
Oh, yeah, Nate in yours, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. And this encounter here.
Yes.
So when he does this like insta kill with the blade,
Yeah.
I was asking him like, okay, like how does this work?
Me
You
too.
know?
They would not get into combat. They would not like budge really at combat at all.
Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, obviously, like the game wouldn't work like if you could just do that constantly. But we're not going to talk about the mechanic that does it. The other thing, did they do this in yours where they like as soon as they swipe through them went into photo mode?
Yeah, they were like going around showing like
And
the
there was
angles
like
and stuff. Yeah.
droplets of blood just floating.
Yeah,
in the
dude,
air,
they were
and
talking about like
circling around
blood
it.
spread technology. I'm not even kidding, dude. Because like we really wanted to nail that like samurai movie like blood spray, and they like he cuts some dude, and like there's blood in the air, and he like pauses it and like circles around, and you can like see like the blood droplets in the air. It was
fellow
fascinating.
gore enthusiast.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And the mud is the other thing that I didn't even notice this. As you're fighting, everyone's kicking up mud. You're getting
Your mud
muddier
all over you
through the fight.
Yeah, what they said? They said something like mud, blood, and something else for the game.
Mud, blood, and steel.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
those
it.
are the three things. And later, actually, they were talking about, like they're moving from superhero games into more grounded games.
Yes.
And all the particle effects guys at first were like, okay, so what do we do? You know,
that's funny.
But it's like I think it comes out in the blood and the mud, and they're talking about the leaves,
swords clashing,
and like sort of the things that like make that work, and all the grass, and like it's a lot.
I enjoyed sitting next to Andy McNamara on the YouTube stage with Keeley, and we were watching this on the TV, and he was like, look at that tree. Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, that's a hell of a tree.
I love that.
This red tree over there. He's like, that tree is doing work right now.
That is beautiful.
When you see it in person, it's like crazy.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
That warms my heart, Jones.
Another question that they
on
straight
tree.
up dodged is about whether we'll have other weapons.
Yes.
Somebody asked them, like, are you going to have other weapons like spears or whatever? And there's
I mean, we see in that trailer, we saw like the ninja.
I pumped him on that. I pumped him on that, Huber.
Shurikens. Oh yeah, ninja weapons. Ninjas are
all
like,
he
more
said to
brutal
me
than samurai.
Yeah, all he said to me was that what Blood was saying earlier, like, yeah, he had this one path, but he's kind of changing.
He's becoming a ninja.
Yep.
This game is going to turn into a ninja game at the.
I was like, so is there going to be something like maybe you could go down a certain route or something like that? Like maybe you want to play a little more this way or a little more that way, and he's like, he's going to change throughout his journey. It's like,
ninja.
I pumped him on this too. Would not budge.
Oh, with how this works?
Yeah,
to
I
me,
was
it's
like,
just Arkham Knight. Right,
yeah,
Jones?
that's what I was
it's
like.
It's gotta be Arkham Knight.
I was like, is this just like you're pushing like triangle right there just to line them up or something like that?
Because Arkham Knight, you just had to look over and hit the
the other thing too, that's
Which is fine by me.
The character here, the female character that you're working with, he is saying that, like, again, this is midway through the game. This is like a whole part of a side quest.
Yeah, this is a side quest.
Of the main path.
This is a side quest.
Yeah, and and they're saying that, like, in a way, like they kind of half spoiled, you know, like what's going on here, because like this is after you've met her on the main quest, and like you've gone through a whole bunch of stuff with this character, and then she does this kind of turn.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, it sounds like the end of her like character quest line.
I'm surprised they gave it away. Maybe because it's just a side quest. That's why they decided to show it. Wow, that's shocking.
Or maybe even by the time you get to this point, this won't have to happen. You know, like if you like in your playthrough, you're like, oh, it's the E3 lady. Like, I mean, I'm gonna see if I can.
I specifically asked if this could be changed, this outcome, because he did the flip thing again to her. And I was like, you kind of finished this the same way you guys did on stage. I'm like, can you finish this some way different? And pretty much no.
Wow.
So I was getting like, the HUD's off on this right now.
Yeah.
So I asked him about the act of knowing when to indicate this special thing. So I think it's going to be like, you'll have a prompt to like do that flip on her or something.
Thanks, Jones. Now she is forever known in my brain as the E3 lady. Yeah. Thanks for that.
It's and they talked about, again, like, you know, this isn't a linear game. This is open world. Like, there's gonna be a lot.
This is a massive open world.
They kept stressing that.
You know? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, but if you're expecting maybe like from their past like infamous games like character choice, I don't think that's gonna be.
They actually did say that.
The arrows. The Mongols are close. He's like, they're coming.
Yeah, the fire arrows.
Oh, you can see them. Okay.
But yeah, so what they said is in my session is that this is a game about his story, and it's not a game about like choosing like a good or evil path and replaying it to see the other side. So the story, like the main story, it seems like is going to be pretty set in a certain way. It's just going to be a matter of like which side quests you find and which paths do you go down and all of that. And I'm curious how all that like circles back into the main story though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't skip Mongol. If you can't wait for this game, watch the movie. 10 out of 10.
Classic Huber.
Good movie
recommendation.
I promise.
So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Definitely good to, you know, get some more of those details in there.
Sorry when I tried to pump him, but Nate Fox would not budge, dude.
Yeah, because they have their armor up.
He's ready. Yeah, he's ready.
Everyone is ready to deflect.
I had an interview with him and I tried to pump him, dude.
Yeah. Nope. Not happening.
Brandon Jones,
is that the end of the list?
You want to take us out for the night?
I'll take you. We have one more day of E3. We have another day of deliberations. You and I, unfortunately, will be if we are starting. Are we starting at 6? It says 6 on the calendar. We've gone past all of our potential start times. Yeah. So 6 is the goal. Might be a little later than that. You and I will be late because we have an appointment. If you want to tune in right before 6, we will be on the GameSpot stage.
Whoa!
With Kind of Funny. If you've ever wanted to see Greg Miller, Tim Geddes, Brandon Jones, and Mike Huber all on the same stage together for a very quick 10-minute little hype segment, we're going to be joining them on the GameSpot stage probably around 5:40, 5:45, something around there.
We're also going to have to discuss what we're gonna do between Thursday and Tuesday if we do anything.
I'm sleeping. That's what I'm doing.
Well, we've got
sleeping Friday.
Friday is
I think we've got
time.
Friday's nap time.
As many or maybe twice as many games that we haven't talked about as we have talked about.
That's what Thursday's for, baby. Lightning.
I mean, I can get. I'll give you 3 right now. Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
Just Cause 4.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I'm so pumped for Assassin's Creed tomorrow.
Dual gameplay with Bloodworth and myself, just like you do your little Hitman run through. We're gonna be doing that with Assassins. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Blood, seeing what he did. And there was a point in the demo where at around the 40-minute mark, they said okay, do you want to go meet Socrates? Do you want to go to naval battles? Do you want to do big, large campaign battles? And Blood did the big campaign. I did the Socrates mission, and so.
And then what's the other one?
Naval. But I did do a naval battle. Oh, are you doing that tomorrow? Yeah. You and I have a big. All I'm doing tomorrow is Ubisoft.
Yeah,
I'm
5-hour block.
I'm doing 6 hours of Ubisoft tomorrow.
The Skull and Bones appointment is 90 minutes alone.
So yeah, there's lots of stuff. There's a bunch of fun VR stuff I checked out that we have yet to talk about. Not to mention
we have Metro Exodus at 9 a.m.
You have Metro Exodus.
Whoa!
Because I played it at Judges Week. I played 3.5 hours of Metro too.
Nice.
And I still have to talk about that.
Me and Ian played the From Software VR game. I always forget what it's called. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
yeah,
played Ghost
Giant Ghost, dude.
Ghost Giant. You can talk about that.
Trover saves the universe.
Oh yeah,
excited to hear about that.
I played Descent. Descent is back.
Oh right, yeah.
What the hell?
You got that footage too.
I have just other remnants from Judges Week, fun stuff that I checked out that we can possibly get into.
And Super Smash tomorrow.
Super Smash. Played
which
Jump Force.
I played
Dragon Quest.
Played
a lot.
Yeah. I played Tunic. I saw Generation Zero. Lots of stuff.
So out of everything that we discussed tonight, out of that list in front of you, maybe you can just give us a little recap. What is our Wednesday of E3 sweetest moment brought to you by our E3 sponsor, Sweet Justice?
My sweetest moment is Huber confirmed that it is not Jason.
Yes, that's the sweetest moment. That is the sweetest moment.
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty good.
From Captain what? I'm tired. What's his name?
The Awesome
Adventures of
Captain Spirit.
Captain Spirit.
Yeah.
SweetJustice.audio. Go check out Sweet Justice. Doing lots of work here at E3. Sound designing for games. Sound designing for trailers. You know I love trailers. You know how much respect I have for a team of people who just sound design trailers.
Ooh, yeah.
Who you imagine, it's like I put together promos and stuff like that for E3. Once it leaves Premiere, that's it. It goes straight to the imagine doing an edit of something and then you hand that off to someone who just does the sound design.
The mastering.
Imagine that that's I'm not saying that they worked on Cyberpunk, but all those little beats in the Cyberpunk trailer. What if they did? We'll find out later. Hopefully we'll find out soon what fun E3 tidbits Sweet Justice did work on. But thank you very much, Sweet Justice, for that sponsorship. Is that what we're doing for? Is that it?
That's it.
An argument.
I need to go to bed.
That's pretty good. I had my headphones on, so I actually missed that. I was cutting the podcast when you said that. That is hilarious. And we definitely invite you to go check out patreon.com/easyallies. We work very hard this week, but I think our community works even harder because they support us financially. People are spending more money on Easy Allies than they spend on Netflix or Hulu. And we definitely appreciate that support. It is how we do what we do.
We crossed 48K today.
We crossed 48K today. And that's incredible. Again, we're always curious whether, the month will end and we'll see if we're there, but we're right in the middle of the month. And here we are at 48K. We are breaking records of just patron numbers. We're breaking records of the money that we're getting through Patreon. We're hitting all sorts of crazy goals. Our YouTube subscribers are going up. Our Twitch numbers have been absolutely incredible. So
thank you,
everybody tuning in this entire week on Twitch, everybody tuning in. We started on Saturday. Here we are Wednesday night. There is still one more day. And if you hit the end of Thursday, you watch And For That Reason, you get maybe a couple extra surprise tidbits we're going to have tomorrow. And you're hungry for more, we're going to be back next Tuesday with the Easy Allies podcast. We're going to be back with our group stream. I'm sorry, the podcast goes up on Wednesday. We're recording it on Tuesday.
Yes.
But next Tuesday night for our group stream, we're going to be picking our E3 2018 awards. And we're going to be shooting a Trailer Jones episode where we're going to be talking about our favorite trailers. I guarantee you Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be one of those. I'm not sure what the other two are going to be. I'm curious to get the takes from the rest of the allies. And then we're going to get back to our regular schedule of producing all sorts of crazy shows, all of our podcasts.
Huber and I have reviews to get finished.
Yeah, poor Huber wrote and recorded a review of Pixel Junk Monsters 2, which I can't wait to finally cut. I almost got there and cutting it, but didn't have time to do that before E3. And not only is that stuff that you can look forward to, the only reason we get to do that stuff is because of our tremendous support. Not only the viewership here on Twitch, but all of the subscribers. We have so much to talk about. We don't get a chance to observe chat, which is what we usually do when we group stream. And so thank you to everybody. Thank you to our mods. Thank you to everybody that's engaging and screaming at us. And all those voices are not heard by people on this desk. But you engage with us. You're here for us, and we're here for you. And this E3 has just been, just a blur. It's crazy. There's so much to,
It's been a dream.
to do.
It's been a dream.
I will be sleeping all day Friday, but there's still one more day. So we're going to go to bed, we're going to get up, and we're going to go to E3, and we will see you tomorrow, hopefully at 6 p.m., if not very shortly after, for the last night of E3 2018. Love and respect, everybody. Thanks for watching.
We'd like to thank our E3 sponsor, Sweet Justice, a sound design company from the southern shores of the UK. They've worked on some of the biggest AAA titles, the most refreshing indie titles, and collaborated with the best development teams in the world. Thank you for joining us for this year's E3 celebration. We're thrilled to bring you our reactions and analysis of all the big announcements, as well as impressions from as many games as we can get our hands on at the show. If this is your first time tuning in, Easy Allies is an independent group of experienced writers and producers covering games and having fun in a variety of ways. We make a range of reviews, previews, podcasts, shows, and other surprises that you can find either at youtube.com/easyallies or here on Twitch. You can also check easyallies.com to find our full schedule, current shows, reviews, and more. All of this is made possible through the support of fans just like you. If you enjoy this week's coverage or any of our other content, consider stopping by patreon.com/easyallies and becoming a monthly patron. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to exclusive videos, and there are a number of other rewards from early access to community interaction if you can give more. Whether you're able to support us financially or just want to hang out, thank you for being here with us for the most exciting week of the year.